We're back in the Rose City of Tyler, Texas for this presentation of Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network. You spoke, and the ASN listened. We reached out to all of our ASN faithful across our social media platforms and left it up to the fans in our first, at least football edition of our Pelshey of the Week fan vote, and the Crusaders of Bishop Gorman came away handedly, receiving over 70% of the vote, thus bringing us to McCollum Field. It's the Bishop Gorman Crusaders on homecoming. This is another homecoming, back-to-back homecoming broadcast on the Antler Sports Network as they host the Cougars of Bishop Reicher High. They're coming out of Waco, Texas. It is the first time we've had the Cougars on the Antler Sports Network. So if you're tuning in from Waco or the surrounding areas, myself, Jared Jones, and the rest of the ASM would like to say welcome and thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. This is definitely going to be a highly contested game, even if we look at last year's matchup, as Bishop Gorman won on the road by a score of 30-29 and lead the all-time series 3-2. We spoke here on the East Texas Benefits Countdown to Kickoff to Crusader head coach Ed Burns to see his take on not only today's game, but if he had a little bit of homecoming memories that he'd like to share.
East Texas Benefits Countdown to Kickoff continues with the ABS T-shirt graphics hotline. Again, talking to Coach Ed Burns over the Bishop Gorman crew. It's homecoming. Talk about how the festivities have gone, at least for you, as the homecoming is now moments away, at least the football part.
It has been a very, very busy week from all the festivities that we had at the school, the kids with the days that they had competing in their different classes and, getting the king and the queen all nominated. People are coming back, alumni showing support. We had the golf tournament yesterday. So it has been a real busy and strange week. We still was able to get our practices in. The guys have been focused and all together. So now it's time for the actual show. Why you come to homecoming, why we have a homecoming is for the football team.
Now, this football game that you're about to play on homecoming, it's a pretty big one. If you want to keep your playoff hopes alive, you got to get a win here. What's it going to take to leave home and let the homecoming fans be happy?
What it's going to take for us tonight is to leave it out on the field. We've had a lot of injuries that have came our way, and we have to leave it out on the field. We have to play 110% every snap, and guys just got to be ready to step up in certain positions that they haven't been able to, asked to play so far. Like tonight, we're rolling with a young quarterback who's a freshman, and Eli Surratt, and that'll be a big challenge for him on the big stage, homecoming. So it's going to take a team effort for us to pull out a win tonight.
Freshman quarterback on homecoming, that's gutsy, Coach. Well, what do you like about him? What makes you so confident in him to start him on such an important evening?
What makes me confident in him is his confidence in himself. He knows the offense. He knows exactly what I want. He can articulate everything I need offensively, and he manages the game. He doesn't try to get out of his own realm or his abilities. He's a freshman, and a lot of people, he's a freshman. His mentality is that of an upperclassman. He carries himself very poised, and we're putting all our trust in. The teammate trusts him, they like him, and they're ready to roll.
Now, finally, homecoming now. You've been around. You played college ball before, some of the highest levels. Do you have any nice or funny homecoming stories that you like to tell?
Boy, all right, I'm not promoting it, but there was a little scuffle after my homecoming game, one time in college, and it was always good because we had an old alumni came in after the scuffle because the game was over and we shaking hands and turned to a scuffle, and he was like, looking very mad with a very, very serious face, and we were like, oh man, he's gonna be upset because we got into a fight, and he was like, we won the game and the fight. So it was
got a bigger struggle. Huh?
Yeah. So it was just very funny because we all thought we was in trouble, thought the alumni was mad, but we were good on that end. But that's pretty much it.
Coach, great homecoming story. Great speaking with you as always.
Once again, Coach Burns via the ABS T-shirt graphics hotline. Always a pleasure to speak with him. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout, and we'll continue our East Texas Benefits Countdown to Kickoff. It's Crusaders and Cougars on the Antler Sports Network and the Pelshey Game of the Week, where tough never quits.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Drawing up the perfect insurance plan can seem like a daunting task in this financial climate. Tackle the task with Mike Munn State Farm Insurance. We have a triple threat of home, auto, and life insurance policies to fit any budget. You can even cover your furry friends with pet insurance. Call 903-561-4535 or visit MikeMunn.net to get started on a free quote. 903-561-4535 to get started on a free quote.
Hello, I'm Mike Munn with Mike Munn State Farm, where I've been your local agent since 1980.
Give it everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quits.
As the countdown to kickoff continues here on the Antler Sports Network for this Pelche Kia Game of the Week, it's time for our game preview. These two teams met for the very first time back in 2005 as Bishop Gorman fell to the Cougars by a score of 36-0. The Crusaders, however, are looking to go an even 500 for the first time against Bishop Reicher with a win tonight. Last year's meeting came down to the wire with the Crusaders winning 30-29 in regulation on the road, but both teams are in a similar boat, with neither team being able to notch their first district win. This is the first time Bishop Reicher will be playing on the Antler Sports Network, but the last time Bishop Gorman was on the ASN, the Crusaders dropped an instant classic against Mercy Culture Preparatory from Fort Worth here at McCollum Stadium. The visiting Cougars are led by senior Ironman Isaiah Glenn. Last week, he hauled in 5 catches for 80 yards and a loss to, ironically, Mercy Culture Prep. He currently leads the team in rushing yards and is second in receiving yards, as Gorman has seen the surge of their own receiver/defensive back, the junior, Mr. Phillips. If you remember him, you will remember him after this game, the starting wide receiver and also defensive back for Bishop Gorman. David Phillips, the defensive back, he wears number 16. Eventually, after that Mercy Christian Preparatory game, spoke to him, and he said the offense just came to him. The junior averages over 150 all-purpose yards a game and almost 2 touchdowns per game. And that concludes our game preview, brought to you by Brick Street Pharmacy. We know your name, we know your medication. Located on 314 West Rusk Street in Tyler, we'll continue the East Texas Benefits countdown to kickoff with our starters and more after another 3-minute timeout.
is one of the most important purchases you'll ever make. It's how you drive to work, how you take the kids to school, and how you get to some of life's biggest moments. Why not treat your car as such? Visit Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler on 3021 South Bonner Avenue. Joe Thompson and his team of professionals bring decades of under the hood experience to ensure that your car runs at its best. Any make, any model, Thompson Tire and Services is the only place to get the best service for your car in the entire East Texas area. Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler, proud sponsor of the Antler Sports Network.
My name is Nathan LeMaster. I'm from Tyler, Texas, and here I have the Pill Puncher. This device, ladies and gentlemen, will help you get into pill packages very easily, sanitarily, and effectively. All you got to do is take the point, puncture the back, right there. Take the device, put it over the pill, like so, push it down, drops it into the reservoir, and there you go, folks. Why make this harder on yourselves? Save your fingers and get your pill puncher today.
Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply offers a complete approach to health and healing, providing prescriptions and medical supplies from one team who understands you and your lifestyle needs. Professional friendly service, providing the best care possible. Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply. Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply introduces the U-Step Laser Walker, providing Parkinson patients new freedom. A laser line visually prompts each step, so you walk normally and stay in control, preventing rollaways. Now available at Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply.
As we continue the East Texas Benefits Countdown to Kickoff, let's take a moment to check out our starters, brought to you by Spartan Exteriors. Let's go ahead and begin things with the hosting team, the Bishop Gorman offense. Starting at quarterback, it's not Chase Harrison. The last time we saw the Crusaders on the Antler Sports Network, he was starting. But as we heard from Coach Burns earlier in the pregame, new signal caller, new man under center, that's going to be the freshman / defensive back / quarterback, Eli Swarte. Going to get the opening call. Chase Harrison will move to running back. The receiving core, the typical David Phillips starting as the number one receiver. Manuel Lozano, Jack Cohn, and Eli Mafood round out the receiving core. Offensive line at left tackle is Zeke Connor. Left guard goes Kamari Alford. Jackson Stokes will be doing the snapping at center. Martavian Lee stands next to him at right guard. And finally, to round out the Gorman starting offense is Sam Kersey. Let's flip to the other side and take a look at the Bishop Reicher defense. Starting for the Cougars at the defensive line is going to be Houston Tucker, Kason Biles, Chris Torres. That rounds out the front three for the Cougs. At linebackers are going to be Pierce Reddy, Damon Ortiz, and Triton Moore. How about that for a name? And Jake Condon will line out the linebacking core. Jace Darling will be the defensive back, along with the previously aforementioned Isaiah Glenn back during our game preview. And the final defensive backs, the defensive back is McKinnon Salmon and Damian Fernandez, the lone safety. Flipping to the other side for the Gorman defense, the defensive line stout as always. Caleb Hill, Martavian Lee, Robbie Dowdle, and Draylon Ray. Round out the defensive line, Sam Kersey, Kennedy Davis, and Sean O'Neill, the linebackers. Jack Cohn, David Phillips, Kate Scott, and Manuel Lozano, the defensive backs for the Crusaders. Now for the Cougar offense. Dalen Hardy at quarterback, Damian Fernandez over at running back, McKinnon Shaman, fullback, Isaiah Glenn, tight end / wide receiver. Expect him to play some of everywhere for this Cougar offense. Damon Ortiz, a receiver. Left tackle is Barrett Landon, left guard, Kason Biles, center Chris Torres, Pierce Reddy at right guard. And the final lineman for this Bishop Reicher offense is Houston Tucker. That concludes our starting lineups, brought to you by Spartan Exteriors, proud sponsor of the Antler Sports Network. When we come back, we'll look at some games to watch and continue the march to kickoff moments away here in the Rose City. This is the East Texas Benefits Countdown to Kickoff on the Antler Sports Network and continues after these messages.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Drawing up the perfect insurance plan can seem like a daunting task in this financial climate. Tackle the task with Mike Munn State Farm Insurance. We have a triple threat of home, auto, and life insurance policies to fit any budget. You can even cover your furry friends with pet insurance. Call 903-561-4535 or visit MikeMunn.net to get started on a free quote. 903-561-4535 to get started on a free quote.
Hello, I'm Mike Munn with Mike Munn State Farm, where I've been your local agent since 1980.
Give it everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quits.
The junior class presents Marisa Molino, with her parents Michael and Vicky Molino.
Is one of the most important purchases you'll ever make. It's how you drive to work, how you take the kids to school, and how you get to some of life's biggest moments. Why not treat your car as such? Visit Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler on 3021 South Bonner Avenue. Joe Thompson and his team of professionals bring decades of under the hood experience to ensure that your car runs at its best. Any make, any model, Thompson Tire and Services is the only place to get the best service for your car in the entire East Texas area. Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler, proud sponsor of the Antler Sports Network.
My name is Nathan Lemaster. I'm from Tyler, Texas, and here I have the Pill Puncher. This device, ladies and gentlemen, will help you get into pill packages very easily, sanitarily, and effectively. All you got to do is take the point, puncture the back, right there. Take the device, put it over the pill, like so, push it down, drops it into the reservoir, and there you go, folks. Why make this harder on yourselves? Save your fingers and get your Pill Puncher today.
Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply offers a complete approach to health and healing, providing prescriptions and medical supplies from one team who understands you and your lifestyle needs. Professional friendly service, providing the best care possible. Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply. Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply introduces the U-Step Laser Walker, providing Parkinson patients new freedom. A laser line visually prompts each step, so you walk normally and stay in control, preventing rollaways. Now available at Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply.
Last section of our East Texas Benefits Countdown to Kickoff. Let's take in some local East Texas games as homecoming festivities are going here at McCallum Stadium. Staying in East Texas, Tyler Legacy will be traveling to the home of the Bulldogs to take on Roy City. Lufkin's on the road against the Lions of Tyler High. White House is taking on Mount Pleasant. Longview versus McKinney North. Athens and Kilgore in a District of Doom matchup. The Tyler Chapel Hill Bulldogs look to shake off last week's loss against Lindale in a game at home against Henderson. Lindale, the same team that beat those Bulldogs, will be heading up the road to Palestine, two of the more sleeper-esque teams in that Chapel Hill district. West Rusk takes on the newly ranked Troop, a Troop team led by Trey Davis, one of the most electric offensive weapons in the state. Union Grove takes on Big Sandy. Harrelton takes on Hawkins. Joaquin and the Timpson Bears will square off. And finally, Alto will take on Jefferson. We'll take maybe one more break as the Gorman Crusaders have trotted onto the field from up top here at McCollum Stadium. And we are moments away from kickoff. This has been the East Texas Benefits Countdown to Kickoff on the Antler Sports Network, ASN2 and ASN Radio. When we come back, we'll have live high school football action in about 6 or so minutes, hopefully so. As the Bishop Reicher Catholic Cougars are not on the field just yet, but they do have a very nice inflatable in their navy blue and Carolina blue with a massive cougar and Crescent on top. So yeah, let's take a short break. Back after this on the Antler Sports Network.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Drawing up the perfect insurance plan can seem like a daunting task in this financial climate. Tackle the task with Mike Munn State Farm Insurance. We have a triple threat of home, auto, and life insurance policies to fit any budget. You can even cover your furry friends with pet insurance. Call 903-561-4535 or visit MikeMunn.net to get started on a free quote. 903-561-4535 to get started on a free quote.
Hello, I'm Mike Munn with Mike Munn State Farm, where I've been your local agent since 1980.
Shaky and Tyler, we're tough, never quits.
broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Also,
As the national anthem concludes, that's always, at least in my eyes, known as the final preparation moments of a good old-fashioned high school or any level of football game. As Bishop Gorman in their home green tops, black bottoms, white helmets with the Gorman logo on one side and their players' numerals in green on the left, golden numerals and lettering with a black trim. Bishop Reicher, the Cougars by way of Waco, Texas, on the opposing sideline. They're in their visiting white tops, navy bottoms, baby blue or Carolina blue numerals and letterings across the tops, and white helmets with their alternative logo across the side in Cougars in scripted Carolina blue, outline in navy. As the captains are already prepared for both ball clubs, officials standing at the 50-yard line. They're ready for kickoff. I'm ready for kickoff. The Antler Sports Network is set to go for another edition of Texas high school football. Captains for the Crusaders are going to be Eli Mafood, number 50, Samuel Kersey, number 3, Chance Harrison, and number 4, Robbie Dowdell. Harrison, last game on the Antler Sports Network against the Royals of Mercy Culture Prep out of Fort Worth, had an amazing game, had plenty of highlights. Be sure to stay on our Antler Sports Network YouTube page for game highlights after every contest. As the coin toss is getting presented to both teams. Trying to get a good look at who the captains would be for the Cougars of Bishop Reicher. Bishop Reicher seems to have won the toss and has elected to kick off to open this game and defer to the second half. So Gorman will take things over to start off this contest. Remember, on ASN2 tomorrow afternoon, we have another homecoming game. That'll be 3 straight homecoming games. This time it's going to be for the Rams of Texas Wesleyan University, as they will be hosting Wayland Baptist and the Pioneers on ASN2. Myself and Jimmy the St. Christopher will be on the call. We'll get things ready with the First and 10 show, which some of it will be played during halftime of today's game. Pre-game for college football, Wesleyan football on the Antler Sports Network will be at 1:30 p.m. Central. Kickoff at 2 p.m. sharp. Back deep is going to be David Phillips, the junior receiver / defensive back for Bishop Gorman. Looking to see who's going to be doing the kicking honors for Bishop Reicher. That looks like it's going to be number 58, the defensive lineman freshman, Houston Tucker. Houston Tucker from Waco. How ironic is that? Very slick color scheme the Cougars have. No, it looks like it's going to be, instead it's going to be Wesley Reed, the junior utility player, going to be kicking things off, of course, from the 40-yard line. He trots back to the 45-yard line now at the 30 with the rest of his Bishop Reicher Cougar teammates. Rushes the ball, approaches, and we are off. A short kick, might have been a pooch kick. Ball takes a bounce at about the 40. Goes out of bounds. Flag is thrown. Gorman looked like they want to try to get a hand on it.
Kick is kicked out of bounds by the Cougars.
As now Gorman will have pretty good field position as they start their opening drive. First down and 10 to go. 3 straight games of 300 or more all-purpose yards the Gorman Crusaders have coming into today's contest. Of course, the illegal procedure penalty. Ball's going to be at the 43-yard line, Gorman's own 43-yard line. As, of course, the freshman quarterback getting the start for today, Eli Swarte, the freshman. Heard from Coach Burns, of course, during the countdown to kickoff on the ABS T-shirt graphics hotline. He's very confident in the young freshman because the freshman's confident in himself. Let's see how his first snap goes. It's a handoff to Harrison. Harrison, with a head of steam, bounces to the outside and gets brought down. And to open up the game with a short gain for Harrison, make that a solid gain, going to be a gain of 4.
Nice gain on the play by the Crusaders. Chase Darling, number 1 on the tackle for the Cougars.
Now it seems like the Crusaders are going to slowly but surely take their time. We're sitting at 11 and a half minutes. We're already 30 seconds gone. And Gorman is just now about to start their next play. They had a much faster pace the last time they were on the Antler Sports Network in their game against Mercy Culture Prep. I formation look now for Gorman. Jump before the snap, and a pre-snap penalty gets flown. Offsides penalty called against Bishop Reicher. That's going to move the chains and give the Crusaders an automatic first down. 5-yard penalty should be a first down at least. Yes. Are they going to mark it first down? Can't really tell. No, they're going to make it second down and maybe the length of the football. Second and inches after the flag. 1:13 remaining. In the gun yet again is going to be Swarte. Swarte handoff to Harrison. Harrison has a head of speed, breaks a tackle at the 40, breaks another tackle, now gets brought down at the 35. Solid gain for the young man. That's going to be a gain of 13. Move the chains, first down and 10 for the Crusaders. Harrison, of course, in the last time we saw him, had a fantastic running attack, even though he was playing quarterback, now moving to a more natural position. Kennedy Davis, the running back in that contest, will not be taking the opening carries of today's contest, but I would expect him to get into this game. It's going to be 1st and 10 after the Harrison gain of 13.
1st and 10 Crusaders.
Swarte back in the gun, has one slot receiver. Phillips is in motion. It's going to be a jet sweep to him. He cuts to the outside now, has a block, tries to stiff arm a man, but gets brought down, not after gaining 1, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
Number 16, David Phillips.
Phillips, we know, if similar to Harrison, if you give him a head of speed or head of steam, he could be dangerous with that second gear. But the Cougars not letting him get very far. 2nd and 9. Swarte comes back to the huddle after getting the play call from Coach Ed Burns. A lot of connections in this game to teams that are familiar here on the Antler Sports Network. Coach Ed Burns, a former Texas College Steer. Of course, the Steers playing lots of games on the Antler Sports Network as the flag gets thrown after the shotgun snap. Around downfield. Phillips, did he haul it in? No, incomplete. As Phillips is a bit slow to get up. Hopefully it's not because of an injury and just because he thought he should have had that one. No, he is down, and as he gets treated to, we're going to take a short timeout. Back after this, no? Seems to be back up and okay, so we'll instead keep it here. Phillips initially had a hand on it, bobbled up, ball went into the air, but sadly the junior couldn't haul it in. But there was a flag, however, on the play.
Bring up 3rd down and 9 for the Crusaders.
It looks like the flag got waved off. Instead, it's just going to be deemed as an incompletion. It's a big 3rd down and 9. If the Cougars could get a stop here, they have pretty solid field position. Gorman in the gun. 3 receivers and a tight end. Throwed on the sideline. Did he tiptoe in? Ball was intended for Lozano. No, they say he's incomplete. Couldn't quite haul it in, and now it's 4th down. Awkward territory as Suarte had plenty of air on it, just maybe a little bit too much in terms of the zip department. With 9:43 remaining in the first quarter, it's now 4th and 9. Gorman last week played a neutral site game in Brackenridge to take on the state champs, the Lubbock Christian Eagles. As a penalty gets called against the Crusaders, and that's going to be a loss of 5.
5-yard penalty. Will bring up 3rd down and long for the Crusaders.
Looks like the penalty might have been pre-snap, most likely. Couldn't get the immediate signal from the official. Either way, it's instead of a 4th and long, it's going to be a 3rd and long. 9:43 remaining. Man in motion. Suarte takes a shotgun snap. Looking to go deep. Steps through. Gets a fantastic block. Winds up. Flag thrown. Has Phillips in the pretty much on the sideline wide open. He hauls it in. Down at the 2-yard line. But hold everything. There is a flag in the backfield. Holding penalty called against the Crusaders, and that'll pretty much send that touchdown back.
At the 1-yard line, Golden Rocker on the play.
So what should have been a 37-yard touchdown throw is going to be, instead, another penalty called against the Crusaders to make this opening drive just a tad bit more difficult, as the official now speaking to Coach Burns along the sideline. Going back to an earlier point, lots of connections between Gorman and the Antler Sports Network. Coach Burns, a former Texas College Steer. And, of course, Coach Joe Prudhomme, current head coach, football coach of the Rams of Texas Wesleyan University, formerly a coach also here at Bishop Gorman.
3rd down and very long for the Crusaders.
Now, after the penalty, is going to be 3rd down and 23. Low snap by Suarte. Suarte winds up, wobbly throw up for Phillips. Phillips gets it picked off. Intercepted by the Cougars. Had perfect positioning. That's Jace Darling. Darling with a darling of a play. The wide receiver / defensive back, the senior, getting perfect positioning on Phillips to haul in the interception. And now pretty much what almost could be considered an arm punt. As some might call it an arm punt. 9:28 remaining. Now the Cougars get their opening possession, 1st and 10. Ball is going to be at around the 23 or 22-yard line. Make that the 23. Just a hair over 9.5 left to go in quarter number 1. Snap rolling out to the outside. It's going to be Hardy. Hardy gets thrown down, slung out of bounds. An official throwing a flag from the far side. Throwing the flag was the linesman as Chance Harrison threw him down pretty hard. Looks like that's going to be a horse collar penalty called against Gorman. And that's going to be a much obliged extra chunk of yardage for the Cougars as they start their first offensive possession. Still going to be 1st and 10 either way. As now the officials are talking it over. Hopefully not thinking of ejecting. I mean, you'd hate to be that extreme on a call like that, but you never know with some moments in football anymore. With 9:19 remaining in the first quarter. Officials still talking it over.
No penalty on the previous play.
No, they're going to wave it off. No penalty is going to get called. Well, all right. Should have been. Well, Harrison brought him down about 15, almost 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So what was about to be a new fresh set of downs for the Cougars turned into what should have been a big-time stop for the Gorman defense. Now turns into a 2nd and 10. All right. That was mighty interesting. 9:19 remaining in the first quarter of play. Result, of course, well, now officials are going to talk it over again. As the officials are convening at about the 15-yard line. And yes, they are going to move the ball back a good chunk of yardage.
The previous play resulted in a loss of yardage for the Cougars. They'll bring up 2nd and long for the Cougars.
So instead of 2nd and 10, it's going to be 2nd and 23. Under center is going to be a toss, bobbled down, but eventually Bishop Reicher will fall on it. Multiple Crusaders approaching the intended target, Damian Fernandez, the freshman. A little bit too much heat on that toss. And it's going to be 9:04 remaining in the first quarter and still rolling.
That brings up 3rd and very long for Bishop Reicher.
It's an even longer 3rd down now as we're. After that loss of 8, it's going to be about 3rd and 30. I form for the Cougars. Keeping it, going into the end zone, falling back. Did he get forward progress at the 1? Coach Burns for the Crew says safety. Most of the green and gold say safety. And no, they're going to give him forward progress and give him a yard.
Reicher quarterback was sacked for a loss.
As Hardy's run was blown up pretty much dead where he stood. With 8 minutes remaining, it's going to be 4th and 30. No gain. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts. Back deep to receive the punt for Gorman is Phillips. Punter now pretty much with his back against the wall. Almost blocked. Sky-high kick. Not a lot of distance. This is going to go very far. It's going to take a bounce at about the 17-yard line. Maybe take 3 more yards of a roll. And Gorman is going to start their second offensive possession in the red zone already.
Cougars 19-yard line will be 1st and 10. Bishop Gorman.
Bishop Gorman and Bishop Reicher, the battle of the bishops, guess you could call it. Here at McCollum Stadium, the stadium built in 1958, the second oldest stadium in Smith County, second only to Wildcat Stadium located in Winona. 20 seconds on the play clock as Coach Burns gives the call from the sideline and stalks that sideline for the rest of his Crusader team.
1st and 10, Bishop Gorman from the Cougars 19-yard line.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Reicher looking to send 4, and indeed they do. It's going to be a handoff this time to Kennedy Davis. Davis on his first carry of the game, bounces to the outside, still going, brings down a couple of Cougars with him, but not before he gets a solid gain of about 9.5. Looking to see if Kennedy did get there, as it looks like there is a flag thrown. Holding penalty called against Gorman. Second holding penalty called against the green and gold so far tonight. With 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Holding penalty against the Crusaders. That's a 10-yard mark off.
Some of the Crusader fans wondering where the hold might have been. As a middle ground, I will not agree or disagree with that call. 7:20. Handoff to Kennedy yet again. Kennedy jukes across the middle but gets brought down. First Cougar to get to him was John Condon, the freshman, playing a little bit of almost some defensive end, some linebacker. Hesitated for a second before immediately rushing, and his patience was an absolute virtue. Short gain, only about a gain of 2 or so. It's going to bring up 2nd down and long after that holding penalty pushed the Crusaders back a good chunk of yards. We're sitting at just past 7 minutes to go in quarter number 1. The Crusaders lead the all-time series against Bishop Reicher 3-2. This first time these two teams met up was back in 05. Here's a throw out to Phillips. Phillips has some room, gets a pretty good block up field, taking a couple Cougars with him inside the 10. And once again on the tackle was number 50, John Condon. Condon already has 2 tackles on this game, but not before allowing a gain of around 16. Was there another flag thrown? No? Was there a flag? Looks like there might have been as the Crusaders are marching back. Still not 100% sure. Still don't know if there was a flag or not. There was a flag. I didn't see one immediately thrown, at least from this angle. So it looks like it's going to still be second and long for Bishop Gorman. It's a handoff to Kennedy. Kennedy's got a head of steam, getting up to 20, marches through, taking a couple Cougars with him. About 4 or 5 defenders hanging on seemingly for dear life as Damon Ortiz, the sophomore defensive back, was the first man to get there. And now that's going to bring up a much more manageable 3rd and long. It's going to be 3rd and 9. Gain of 9 for Kennedy. Kennedy Davis, the big running back, as we talked about earlier. A lot of this Gorman running back core, if you give him a head of steam, pretty much all their skill players, you give him a little bit of space, it could mean trouble. 5.5 minutes remaining. Shotgun snap. They're going to hand it off to Harrison. Harrison gets a block, cuts across the outside along the hash, gets brought down. He gets 10 yards. Move the chains. First down and 10 for Gorman. Did he get there? Did they mark it at about the 9? And yes, instead of first down and 10, it's going to be first and goal. Gorman will go to work knocking on the door, looking to strike first in this game. Ball's going to be placed at about the 7-yard line. 5 minutes remaining. 2 seconds on the play clock. Got to get a move on. Shotgun snap is taken right on schedule. Harrison looking, stepping through, almost got the ball ripped from him, but still has it. Flag is thrown. Flag was thrown by the head linesman right pretty much at the end of the run as Torres gets the tackle. One thing about this Cougar team, even though they may not have most players in the world, they gang tackle. It's only been one time that one Cougar defender was able to make him play, and that was earlier in this game when Jace Darling got the interception off of the throw intended for Phillips. Still don't know who that penalty was.
Personal foul against the Bishop Gorman Crusaders.
Another penalty called against Gorman. And it's still going to be first and goal. A very difficult first and goal. That's already, I'd like to say, about 4 or 5 penalties called against Gorman already in this one.
After the penalty, it's still first down and goal for the Crusaders.
Ball is on the 21-yard line. High snap. They hand it off to Harrison. Harrison, if he can get to the sideline, he'll have space. At the 10, brushes a man off. And that's going to be a very great gain. Gets down to the 5. Gain of about 15 or so is going to be good to get them inside the 5. They're going to mark it maybe at the 4. No, they'll mark it right at the 5-yard line. 4.5 minutes remaining. The clock will halt for now as Harrison smartly went out of bounds after getting pushed out. And it looks like Bishop Reicher will take a timeout. We'll take it with him. Back after this. We're still scoreless here in the Battle of the Bishops here on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio. As this timeout gets taken, we like to give a chance to ask all of our Antler Sports Network viewers to tune into ASN2 tomorrow afternoon, as we'll have Texas Wesleyan Ram football presented by Pelche Kia. It's homecoming once again as the 19th ranked Rams will head back to Crowley, beautiful Crowley ISD multipurpose stadium. Myself and Jimmy the St. Christopher will be on the call as they take on the Pioneers of Wayland Baptist. Kickoff from Crowley will be at 2 p.m. Kickoff will begin at around 1:30 with the First and 10 show, as we'll hear from former Bishop Gorman head coach, ironically, and current Texas Wesleyan Rams head coach, Joe Prudhomme. Timeout concludes. Both teams are back onto the field. Reicher looking to hold firm on defense, now looking at second and goal. Gorman, ball at the 5-yard line. Shotgun snap. Looking. Has a man to the outside. Bumping through into the end zone is Robbie Dowdle. Touchdown, Gorman. The Crusaders strike first and get the scoring going with a quick little pitch and catch 5 yards into the end zone as we take another look with our Circle M Crawfish instant replay. As Dowdell reaches out, stretching across the plane, got there pretty much in perfect timing to give Gorman the 6-0 lead. It's now kickoff time. It looks like possibly PAT time, as we've seen fakes. We've pretty much seen it all here on the Antler Sports Network, so I won't be surprised if Coach Burns brings out a fake. Now looking at 6-0 with 7:24 left to go. 15 seconds on the play clock. High snap, good place, good hold. Kick is sailing. Did he go through? Yes, it did. We have points here on the Antler Sports Network, and they were first scored by the Crusaders. It's 7-0. The Crew are ahead here on homecoming. Back in 30 seconds, this is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network.
Give it everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
After the Gorman touchdown, it's 7-0 as the footballs fly across the student section here at McCollum Stadium. Capacity 1,000. Gorman does a pretty good job of packing it out almost every single game, at least every game that we've seen, or I've seen. 7:24 remaining, as ready to kick things off is going to be Harrison to do the honors. 5-yard touchdown pitch and catch from the new starting freshman, Eli Sarte, throwing it over to Robbie Dowdell as he reached out across the plane to open up the game. Harrison boots things away. Line drive kick, not a lot of height at all. Takes a mean bounce at about the 20, and Bishop Reicher is going to go the other way. With it now carrying is Fernandez. Fernandez cuts across the middle, gets brought down around the 30-yard line. Looks like there's a little bit of a scuffle at the bottom of the pile. The first Crusader to get there was number 63, Angel Martinez, the sophomore offensive/defensive lineman on the hit. And now how will the Cougars respond is the penultimate question. First down and 10 with 4:17 remaining at quarter number 1. Bishop Reicher, an absolute powerhouse in the early 2000s. Won state in 2004, then were three-peat state champions in 2007, 8, and 9. I formation here for the Cougars as they look at 1st and 10. Looking to respond here with a score. They hand it off to the outside. Now it's Fernandez. Fernandez gets brought down, but not before he loses 4. Phillips on it again. Phillips' second tackle of the game. Dowdell also in tandem with Phillips to bring Fernandez down. 3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Bishop Reicher took a timeout earlier in this game. Now they only have 2. Now 3.5 minutes.
Second down for the Cougars.
Handoff again to Fernandez, and he gets brought down yet again. The Gorman defense has been absolutely relentless. That's going to be a loss of 4. Make it 3rd down and 19.
Brought down by number 70, Zeke Connor for the Crusaders.
Zeke Connor was credited on the tackle. With 3:11 remaining, clock still rolling.
Loss of yardage for the Cougars. That brings up 3rd and long.
3rd down, 19 yards to go. A very rough 3rd down for Reicher to try to surpass. We've crossed the 3-minute mark. Play clock sitting in the single digits. 5 seconds now to get a snap off. The Cougars come out with 3 receivers, 1 in the slot, 2 seconds, 1 second. And this is going to be a delay of game penalty. Last thing you need, already looking at 3rd and long. As the ball slowly but surely gets moved back. Now Reicher facing 3rd and 24 with 2 minutes and 37 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. Man in motion for the Cougars, going from the top of the formation to the bottom is Darling. Darling already has an interception in this game. Dropping back and looking is going to be Harvey. Harvey throw downfield incomplete, but there are flags on the field.
Pass is intended to number 2 for the Cougars.
Pass was intended for Isaiah Glenn. Glenn, as we spoke about him earlier during our game preview, leads the Cougars in multiple stats. Penalty called against the Cougars was declined by Bishop Gorman. So with 2:19, 4th down and 24 yards to go with 2:18. Back deep to receive again for the Crew is Phillips. Low snap, bobbled and just turning around and simply falling on the ball. And a flag is thrown yet again. This is the 9th flag of the first quarter. As it looks like this will be a penalty called against the Crusaders. Personal foul penalty called against Gorman. As Coach Burns is not happy. Now stepping up to the official to discuss why this is his 3rd personal foul penalty already in the first quarter against his ball club. Interesting fact about these Crusaders. Last time they were here on the Antler Sports Network, they took on Mercy Culture Preparatory. And that sealed a stat that no other team on the Antler Sports Network has been able to complete. They've had more passing yards and rushing yards in every single game this season. Vast majority of the teams, including the Wildcats of Cayuga that we saw take down their Up FM Road rivals, and the Crossroads Bobcats, a very run-heavy team. Coach Whitney Keeling's Tatum Eagles, of course, always a run-heavy team. And that flag is going to make this 4th down just a tad bit easier.
It's a 15-yard dead ball penalty.
So 15.
It is first down and 10 for the Crusaders.
There's a dead ball penalty is going to be called. So instead, Gorman will get the ball 1st and 10. Instead of getting it at about the 2 where they initially brought down the punter, instead they'll just get it at the 20. They had the ball in the 19 last time they had it, and it was a touchdown catch by Dowdell for 5 yards into the end zone to give us our 7-0 score. Phillips rolls out after being put in motion, gets to the outside, gets brought down. No, looks like Chance Harrison tackled his own teammate. Well, that was surely interesting.
Brought down by number 2, Isaiah Glenn.
Isaiah Glenn had him initially. Phillips looks like with just a couple more steps, he would have been able to break free and break off. Result of the play is going to be a loss of 4, 2nd and 14 with 1:45 remaining and counting. Glenn initially had him, but Phillips looked like he was, again, a couple steps away from breaking the tackle. Then Chance Harrison just comes through and nudges him down. Well, how about that? Minute and a half now. Clock rolling. 5 seconds on the play clock. Shotgun snap is taken. Looking to his right, the freshman has Phillips. It's almost intercepted. John Condon got spun around as Phillips had it on the outside. His left hand was the first part of his body to get a hit on it, but wasn't able to haul it in. Now 3rd down and 14 after the incompletion. Condon already has a tackle for loss, 3 solo tackles, 2 hurries, and almost had an interception.
Bring up 3rd down 13 for Bishop Gorman.
That's already steps back. Out of the huddle, 1 second, got to get it off. Did they know? Back judge throws the penalty flag. Make that flag number 10 in this game against both teams combined.
Penalty marker on the play against the Crusaders.
Now what was supposed to be,
Bring up 3rd down and long.
what was about to be 3rd and 14, now it's 3rd and 19. Shotgun snap, looking, stepping up, pressured, running through, gets brought down by a host of Cougars. Multiple Cougars on that one. I'm going to give the full tackle credit to number 52, Pierce Reddy.
Excuse me, Eli Surratt, beg your pardon, keeps the ball for the Crusaders.
Eli Surratt got pretty much thrashed, stepped up in the pocket, and that is one thing I can say about the freshman that he's done. He's identifying the pressure, stepping through. Just hasn't been able to make the extra throw or try to gain an extra couple of yards to make the sack just a tad bit lesser of a detriment to the offensive drive. But he's a freshman. What can you expect? Of course, spoke with Coach Burns talking about him. He said he was confident in himself, and obviously so. He hasn't been afraid to let the football fly. 2 seconds, 1 second, shotgun snap again. Suarte looking, pressured again, spins through, still up, breaks a 4th tackle, still rolling. High throw might have been deflected. It's caught. And going the other way with it now is going to be Jack Cone. Cone slides back now at the 25, but there is a flag at around the 35-yard line. Don't know who that penalty is going to end up being against. But that was a head-spinning play. Well, how about that? As we take another look at the instant replay, Cone got spun every which way but up. Eventually they brought him down. Personal foul called against Bishop Reicher. And it looks like this indeed is going to be a penalty against the Cougars, and it is as the chains march forward.
Personal foul penalty against.
So that's going to make it 1st down. Are they going to call it 1st and goal or 1st and 10? No, they're going to call it 1st and goal.
Timeout on the field, Bishop Gorman.
As Gorman takes their first timeout of the ball game, we'll take it with them. Back in 1 minute, this is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network. After the timeout, Gorman trots back onto the field after calling their first timeout of the game. Up 7-0 with 13 seconds remaining in the first. As now the Crew look to try to capitalize and get their second touchdown of the game. Now looking at 1st and goal from about the 9.5-yard line. Shotgun snap. Looking. Rolling. Throw across the middle. Incomplete. Flag is thrown, and that's going to be a pass interference call. As the pass from Surratt was intended for Mahfoud, as a pass interference penalty most likely is going to be called against the linebacker, McKinnon Salmon. Now, Salmon initially looked like he was going to just stay in a QB spy, but instead had to drop back in coverage after Mahfoud hit that slant route and got in the middle of the open field. Little too handsy as the flag was thrown. No, we're not going to be pass interference. It's going to be holding. Well, either way, 8 seconds left in the first. Ball is going to be placed on the 5. Shotgun snap. It's bobbled. Falling through and getting on it is going to be Surratt and Nitty. Trying to see the exact moment as we're getting another look at it to see how quickly Surratt just fell through. And that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. As Bishop Gorman striking first, but still hasn't been able to get much more on the board, but that could change. After 1, it's 7-0 on the Antler Sports Network. We've already played 12 minutes of football here at McCollum Field, home of the Crusaders of Bishop Gorman. Now we're going to flip fields and resume play for quarter number 2 here on the Antler Sports Network. Remember, tomorrow, kickoff from Crowley ISD Multipurpose Stadium is going to be at 2 o'clock. Pregame for Ram football is going to be at 1:30. Here's 2nd and goal. After the fumble into the trying to rush into the end zone, did he break through? No. Surratt keeps it. Gains maybe 3.
It'll bring up 3rd down and goal.
It's going to be 3rd and goal as Coach Burns makes the substitution now. Gorman going to work right along the left hash. Jumbo package, only 2 out wide. Harrison's the back. Pushing through into the end zone. It's Surratt into the end zone. Touchdown, Gorman. That's Gorman extending their lead now, barring the PAT, to 13-0. 2-yard touchdown run by Surratt. Surratt has 1 touchdown pass and a touchdown run. The freshman already having a pretty good game for his first start of the season.
Another point after attempt for the Crusaders.
We await the point after from Harrison. Looking to boot things off. Harrison misses up the snap. Is going to be kept. Going the other way, and Reicher brings him down. But regardless of that last result, Gorman expands their lead. It's now 13-0. Back in 1 minute. This is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, presented by Pelche Kia. We're tough, never quits. As Harrison looks to kick things off yet again, with 11:26 remaining in the first half of play, Gorman, after the unsuccessful PAT, nonetheless expands their lead to 13-0. After this kick, look at some East Texas scores. It's a dribbler squib kick. Reicher touches the football, and Gorman gets it at the 40. Falling on it is going to be Robbie Dowdell. Dowdell already has a touchdown catch from 5 yards out. Now he has a kickoff recovery. With just a couple seconds elapsing off of this one, Harrison put the perfect amount of touch on the ball to have it roll. And now let's look at some East Texas scores. Most games similar to this one is in the second quarter of play. Tyler Legacy currently up on the Bulldogs of Royce City by a score of 13-10. McKinney North and Longview in a big-time district clash of two of the best teams in the state, knotted up at 7. And Tyler High currently taking on the Panthers of Lufkin. The Pack currently up on Tyler High, 7-3. Quick throw to the outside for Phillips. He hauls it in now. Reaching, gets the first down, still battling. Spun at the 30, gets pushed down well deep within to Cougar territory. The Crusaders are. Phillips with a solid gain of around 14 with 11-12 remaining. As a tackle is going to be made by Salmon. Salmon, his third tackle of the game. As the Crew move the chains after the Dowdell kickoff recovery, right on schedule. 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Kennedy Davis now back in at running back. 2 slot receivers, 4 out wide total. Phillips at the top of your screen. Surratt throws, zips it in for Mafood. Mafood crosses the line to gain again. That's going to move the chains. First down and 10 after the gain of 14. And now the Crusaders are rolling. Back-to-back passes, back-to-back first downs, back-to-back gains of 10 or more. Surratt has thrown an incomplete pass in the second quarter. Hopefully I didn't jinx him. If I hear some wood here in the HDO broadcast, but let's give it a little knock. It's going to be a handoff to Davis. Davis zips across now along the right hash, battles through, still fighting. Did he get into the end zone? Still waiting on the call. Touchdown, Crusaders.
Hand off to number 24, Kennedy.
14-yard touchdown run by Kennedy Davis. No, they're going to mark him short. Oh, my word. They marked him maybe at the centimeter yard line. Dare I even say yard line? So score still going to be 13-0. Davis is back in. They're going to push, good old-fashioned tush push, and Surratt will get into the end zone and get the glory. After the Davis 14 and maybe a half-yard run, Surratt pushes his way through to expand the lead. Now it's 19-0. Thought it was going to be 19-0 at first, but they marked him short. No flags thrown, at least from what I've seen, with 9:39 remaining in the second quarter. Here at the home of the Crusaders, McCollum Stadium, here on homecoming night. As a TAPS Division IV District 1 matchup. As it looks like the Crusaders are going to go for 2. Kennedy's back in to Surratt's left. Man in motion. As Jack Cohn. Quick throw. Lob pass for Phillips. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. 2-point conversion is good. And as David Phillips hauls in the 2-point conversion, Gorman expands the lead, 21-0 over the Cougs. Back in 30 seconds, this is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network and ASN2.
Announce the name of the business on this sheet.
Name of the business? Yosemite?
Yosemite Roofing.
Or Yosemite?
Yosemite Roofing?
Yosemite. Yosemite?
Hey guys, it's Josiah with Yosemite Roofing, and we don't care what you call us, as long as you call us.
Quick thank you to Coach Murray and the rest of the fantastic folks here at TK Gorman, always hosting the Antler Sports Network. The first TAPS broadcast of either football or basketball was ironically here at Bishop Gorman over at CM Haddad Gymnasium. In the coming days, the Antler Sports Network will announce their Texas high school basketball broadcast schedule. Be sure to follow the ASN across all social media platforms for updates on game schedule changes and program changes. And it's fair to say that Coach Murray, Coach Anderson, and both Bishop Gorman teams will be back on the Antler Sports Network for the foreseeable future. I always enjoy staying in the Rose City for some high school basketball or football. Kickoff from Harrison. Not a squib kick this time. It's a hierarchy kick. Ball's going to be hauled in at about the 15. Going the other way with it, it's going to be Isaiah Glenn. Glenn on the sideline gets leveled out of bounds. Not before he gets a solid gain of about 25 yards, though, as Isaiah Glenn gets leveled by Harrison. Harrison just shoving him, but Glenn, a fantastic gain to now set up the Cougars with a pretty good starting field position. Not in Gorman territory just yet, but the ball's going to be placed at around the 39-yard line.
At the Cougars' 39-yard line.
9.5 minutes, just a hair over 9.5 minutes left to go in quarter number 2. Both teams sitting on 2 timeouts remaining. The green and gold up 21-0 on the visiting Cougars out of Waco. Bishop Reicher since 2005 are 6-5 against East Texas schools. They played the likes of Canton, of course Bishop Gorman. They played Grace, and they played All Saints. Quick throw to the outside, intended for Glenn, yet again incomplete. Heard the footsteps of both Dowdell and Phillips.
David Phillips there defensively for the Crusaders.
And that's going to be 2nd down and 10.
This was incomplete. Bring up 2nd down and 10.
Last 500 season for these Cougars was back in the 2020-2021 season. Cougars a very, very young team. Vast majority of their guys being freshmen. After the incompletion, here's the 2nd and 10 snap. It's going to be a keeper. Handoff to the outside now for Fernandez. Fernandez gets tackled. Not before he gains 1. Tackle was made by Manuel Lozano. Lozano getting his first tackle of the game.
Manuel Lozano, the Crusaders penalty marker on the play.
There is a flag. Thank you to the PA announcer to my left for calling out that flag. That the flag is going to be against Bishop Reicher. Holding penalty. The 10-yard whack is going to be 2nd down and 20. The Crusader defense holding the Cougars scoreless here on homecoming. I formation, a little bit of razzle-dazzle. They try to get it over to Darling, but Darling gets crammed by Phillips. Phillips, his 2nd tackle for loss of the game. That's going to be a loss of 6.
For the Cougars, tackled by a big loss by number 50, Samuel Kersey.
Kersey also on the hit. Phillips and Kersey pretty much just tag teamed him. Man, what a hit. 8:53 remaining in the first half of play. Ironically, both of these teams have professional athletes to come through their hallways. Of course, the great George Cumby, 2-time All-Pro linebacker, alma mater of Bishop Gorman. It's a throw to the outside. It's hauled in, but immediately smacked. About 2 yards after catch gained by Glenn. Glenn, his 4th reception of the game. He's only going to gain 4. And I'll make it 4th down after the tackle from Lozano. 8 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. We talked about how George Cumby was an all-pro alma mater for Bishop Gorman, but Bishop Reicher also had his Reed high kick. We'll get to that in a brief moment here. As Phillips lets it bounce, gets in front of him, gets a big-time block. Flag is thrown along the sideline into the end zone. Phillips touchdown, but fair to say this sucker's going to come back. Personal foul block in the back. Penalty as we get another look of the hit. Man. And Damian Fernandez took the hit like a champ. Popped right back up and looks like he might have had a little bit of jaw jacking. Talking a little trash after that. Can't blame the young man either. 7:45 remaining. As Coach Burns is talking to the head linesman.
Run back for the Crusaders.
It's still going to be 1st and 10, but instead of a touchdown, they'll have to take the penalty. And now it looks like the ball is going to be placed at about the 45-yard line, Gorman's own 45-yard line.
The ball will be put at the Crusaders' 45-yard line. Will be 1st down and 10. Bishop Gorman.
Of course, last year, these two teams met in Waco. Gorman took home the 30-29 victory in regulation. To be able to control their own destiny in terms of playoffs tonight, of course, they're going to have to win, but Mercy Culture is going to have to lose, and Sacred Heart is going to have to lose. That's the Crusaders' offensive huddle disperses. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line with 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in half number 1. 3 receivers cone the slot. Double back set. They hand it off to Harrison. Harrison skips through, trucks a man, tries to truck another man at the 50-yard line, still skipping through. He's going to gain 6. Initial hit, and there's a flag again. Harrison with a little bit of extracurricular after John Condon with another great hit. That's his 5th tackle of the game, but Harrison a little bit of a extra motion towards Condon. And the ref didn't like that one at all. And it looks like Bishop Gorman, looks like they called a timeout. The line judge signaling, and yes, Gorman will take a timeout and we'll take it with him. After the penalty, our score still remains 21-0 in favor of the Crew with about 7.5 minutes left to go. Back in 30 seconds, this is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network. East Texas benefits local knowledge you can trust and proud longtime sponsor of the Antler Sports Network. With 7:34 remaining in quarter number 2, let's look at some local 4A scores. Let's go to the District of Doom. The Lindale Eagles currently up over the Palestine Wildcats 7-0. That game's still in the first. Same score, same quarter, but this time the Bulldogs are up on the Henderson Lions 7-0 at Bulldog Stadium. The Cougar Bulldogs up on the Athens Hornets 7-0 also in the first. After the penalty, double back set now. 1st and 10. 1st and 15 for the Crusaders. It's going to be given up the sideline now to Davis. Davis ahead of steam, still pushing. Flag is thrown. He's going to get the first down and looking for some extra change. Barring the penalty, that run from scrimmage is at least going to be a gain of 16. As the flag was thrown pretty much as soon as Kennedy got hit initially. Host of Cougars on the play. I'm going to give the first initial hit credit to Keegan Patterson. Patterson, also a freshman. Receiver / defensive back. Of course, penalty called against Bishop Reicher. That'll make that first down run from Kennedy just a tad bit sweeter for the Crew. 7:23 remaining. So what was supposed to be a 25-yard carry now turned into a gain of about enough to make you want to have to buy a toll tag. 7:15, clock still rolling. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders now. Play clock sitting at 20. Same formation. 2 backs. Instead, dropping back, looking, 50-50 ball to Phillips. It's batted down. A Surratt's pass intended for Phillips gets batted down by Jace Darling. Darling has had a pretty tough task trying to hold down Phillips this entire game, but he already has a deflection, a tackle, and an interception earlier in the first quarter. Phillips, a receiver that we know can take over games with his breakaway speed off the line and his verticality, but Jace Darling, even though Darling might be plenty shorter than Phillips, has done a great job in coverage. Sean O'Neal now in at running back in tandem with Harrison. Low snap. Surratt's got to get out of trouble, and he won't. The Cougars with a big-time hit on the TFL. Kaysen Bly's on the hit.
Number 58, Houston Tucker. Big loss on the play for the Crusaders.
Now what could have been possibly a loss of 2 if he would have found the football. Now that's going to be a loss of a ton. Second and 20. Check that, 3rd and 20. 6:20 and counting remaining. Shotgun snap. They're going to hand it off to Harrison. Harrison, if he can get a block, will have space. Trucks a man, still going. Gets pushed out, trucks another man. He's still going. 5 on the goal line. Did he get through? No, he's down at the 1. Chance Harrison, we know him as a hard runner, but good night, nurse. Trucks one man and trucks another as we take a look with our Circle M Crawfish instant replay. We might have ourselves a play in the 9 already. 6 minutes flat. As it looks like we have an injury on the field at about the goal line, and as he gets treated to, we'll take a short 30-second timeout. Back after this on the Antler Sports Network.
Give it everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
The injured Cougar seems to be okay. After the Harrison run, it's going to be 1st down and 10 with 6 minutes remaining in the first half. As John Condon, the linebacker,
It'll be 1st and goal, Bishop Gorman.
been a consistent tackler all game long for this Bishop Reicher defense. Hate to have that big of a loss. Here's a tush push into the end zone. Touchdown, Gorman. The lead expands 6 more. So now it's going to be 27-0 for Gorman. A 1-yard rush. Because now we're looking awaiting the PAT with 5:56 remaining in this first half of play. It's been all Crusaders. As Harrison preparing for his kick. Harrison, the right-legged senior, plays quarterback, linebacker, running back. Good snap, good hold. The kick is high. Did it get through? Yes, it did. Field goal is good. 28-0. It's been all Crusaders as the lead continues to grow. Back after this with 5:56. Back in 1 minute. It's Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio. Harrison to boot things off yet again for the Crusaders. The Crusaders expanding their lead with a 1-yard touchdown rush, all set up ironically by a Harrison rush. Kickoff is away, not a lot of distance, but plenty of height And now it bounces off of Fernandez, and the ball is active. The Crusader swarming the football and eventually gets brought down. The first Crusader to get there was Eli Mafood. As the Cougs will take back over again, 1st and 10, looking to just get something going. Once again, a very young team, a very young school in general. They merged with St. Louis Catholic back in 2019, but the original Bishop Reicher was founded back in 1954. With 5:49 remaining in the second quarter of play, it's 1st and 10 for the Cougars. They're going to be down well within their own territory. As it looks like, did Gorman call a timeout? Bishop Reicher's going towards the football, and it looks like they did. Gorman's going to call their last timeout. Coach Burns, the company, want to talk things over, and we'll take a break with them. Back after this, we'll have some local scores after this 30-second timeout on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio.
Give it everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
Last time we checked out our local scoreboard, it was all 3A. It was all 4A, so let's move down to some 3A scores. Staying within the same district now, White Oak currently losing to the Jackrabbits of Atlanta by score of 20-0 in the first. In second quarter action, the Jefferson Bulldogs up on the Gladewater Bears in the second, 21-0. Tatum over Sabine, one of the other games part of our Pelche Kia Game of the Week fan vote. The Eagles up 14-7 in quarter number one. Other 3A scores, Harmony over Wascom, 20-6 in the first. Looking, stepping up, man downfield is almost caught. Incomplete pass was intended for Glenn. As in coverage was Kate Scott. Scott was about 2 steps behind him. It was a pretty good ball.
Kate Scott
hauled in there
on the coverage for the Crusaders.
By the quarterback is Dalen Hardy. Hardy had a beautiful ball. The junior had his receiver downfield, did a great job of leading him, keeping him away from Scott in coverage. Just couldn't thread the needle. 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. With 5:44 remaining. Lone back now for Hardy. Hardy looking to go deep yet again. Spin, still getting spun. Harrison slings him down. Harrison looking around to see if he got flagged, as Harrison is a rough cat. That's a rough guy, especially when he's trying to bring you down well behind the line of scrimmage. Big time loss. It's going to be 2nd and about 23. Check that, 3rd and about 23.
3rd down 23 for the Cougars.
5 minutes, clock rolling remaining in the first half. Quick substitution, checking out is going to be Harrison, getting a quick swig. As Eli Mafood will check back in now, looking to play a little bit of linebacker. Clock still rolling. 4 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Shotgun snap, Hardy, quick pitch to the outside. It's caught, hauled in by Darling. Looks like it was almost stolen away. Well behind the line of scrimmage, as to getting a hand on it was Samuel Vogler. Vogler, immediately after the pass was hauled in by Darling, looked like he tried to strip the ball from him, as it looks like it's going to be an official's timeout, as Darling was a bit slow to get up. And that's going to be another loss, making a loss of 6. Result of the play is going to be 4th down, 4th and 29, punt time again for Reicher Catholic. Phillips back deep again to receive. Here's the kick, high kick. Tight spin, not a lot of distance. Takes a bounce at about the 15 going the other way, and Reicher Catholic is just going to fall on it. Gorman is going to take over 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. With 4:06 remaining in the first half. We've seen a 5-yard touchdown throw from Surratt to Dowdell to open up the game. We've seen a run in by Harrison, and we've seen 2 tush pushes. That's how Gorman's gotten their 28. 4:06 remaining. Double back set now for the freshman Surratt. Surratt's going to hand it off to Kennedy. Kennedy jukes left, jukes right, up the field, dragging a Cougar with him. Did he fall through? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Gorman.
Kennedy Davis runs it in for a touchdown, Crusaders.
Kennedy Davis gets on the board yet again as we take another look via our Circle M Crawfish instant replay. Kennedy with a run of 13 yards with 3:56 remaining. Now expanding the lead even greater, 38-34 to nothing, barring the PAT. As Harrison comes out for another PAT, his last PAT pretty much had the same amount of distance as a snail shell, but skied through and sailed in. Almost a pooch PAT. High snap. Harrison approaches the ball, boots it, through the uprights and good. Now your score after the Kennedy touchdown run sets everything up after the muff punt. Gorman expanding their lead yet again. Second quarter with 3:56 remaining. It's Gorman 35, Bishop Reicher out of Waco, nothing. Back in 30 seconds. This is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio.
Announce the name of the business on this sheet.
Name of the business? Yosemite?
Yosemite Roofing.
Or Yo's me.
Yosemite Roofing?
Yosemite. Yosemite?
Hey guys, it's Josiah with Yosemite Roofing, and we don't care what you call us, as long as you call us.
Want to remind our fantastic Antler Sports Network viewers to tune in tomorrow afternoon for another presentation of Texas Wesleyan Ram football live from Crowley ISD Multipurpose Stadium as the Rams of Wesleyan look to defend home field in their own homecoming against the Pioneers of Wayland Baptist. Kickoff from Crowley is going to be from 2 p.m. Central. Pregame with myself and Jimmy the St. Christopher on the call at 1:30. Kickoff from Harrison is going to be another roller. Did Reicher Catholic touch it? They did, but eventually they'll fall on it yet again right in front of about the 35-yard line. They'll take over 1st and 10 from the 36. Hardy, the quarterback, falls onto the football. And it has been all Gorman so far in this contest, as Bishop Reicher just hasn't been able to get much going, at least on the offensive side of the football. They force an interception. They have a deflection, both on Gorman's best receiver, just haven't really been able to convert it into points. 1st and 10, 35-0. Gorman ahead with 3:53 remaining in half numeral uno. Ball's on the 38-yard line. Hardy and company trotting his Cougars offense back onto the field. In the gun has a tight end, 3 receivers, 1 in the slot, and a back to his right. Shotgun snap. Hardy looking. He's getting pressured. Throws it away, incomplete. He got it to the line of scrimmage, but, well, at least from this angle, he got it to the line of scrimmage. But thankfully, he's able to get the football away in short order. Result of the play is going to be 2nd down and 10 with 3:46 remaining in quarter number 2. Be sure to stay with us at the half as we'll have an early look at the pregame show for the Wesleyan contest tomorrow, as Jimmy the St. Christopher will have a sit-down chat with former Bishop Gorman coach Joe Prudhomme, now currently the coach over at Texas Wesleyan University, for a good chunk of the First and 10 show. You'll be able to watch the full show in its entirety tomorrow at 2. Throw again for Hardy, incomplete, this time intended for Darling. In coverage was Kate Scott. The senior was a good step behind Darling, as incompletion now brings up 3rd and 10.
We'll bring up 3rd down 10, Bishop Reicher.
David Phillips, the man that we spoke highly of during our East Texas Benefits game preview, leads the team in total touchdowns and receiving yards per game. His teammate Chase Harrison in 3 starts as a quarterback, 45% completion percentage, 20 rushing yards per game, and almost 95 passing yards per game. Trying to lay down the stiff arm is Fernandez, and Fernandez is going to be chopped down. Loss of 8.
Great tackle by number 7, Sean O'Neill for the Crusaders.
Sean O'Neill, the first Crusader to get there. As now that's going to bring up 4th and 18 and possibly punt time yet again As now Phillips is back deep once more for the Crew. 3 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first half. Reicher will be punting this away from about the 17-yard line. High kick is blocked. Not a roughing the kicker. Clean block. Coming up with it is going to be Manuel Lozano. Lozano timed it perfectly. As we get another look, that's the second block punt we've seen in Antler Sports Network history. Of course, the first one you might remember was a couple weeks back during our college football broadcast as the Steers blocked the opening kick, the opening punt by the Stallions of North American University to give that game its first points. And now Lozano gets to join him, some pretty elite company, at least in broadcast sense. 2:45 remaining in the second quarter as Gorman will take the football back. Ball's going to be placed at about the 18-yard line. Surratt in the gun, 50-50 ball to Phillips as he backpedals his way into the end zone. Quick pitch and catch, 18-yard touchdown as the Crusaders score yet again. Get another look at that with our Circle M Crawfish instant replay. Now it's 41-0. Might be the easiest throw that Surratt has had all evening long. As Harrison will step back onto the field to boot down the PAT. He has been perfect all evening long as Jack Cohn levels down to a knee and awaits the snap to prepare. 9 seconds left on the play clock. They get it off, almost blocked, but instead it's going to be through the uprights and good. And the lead expands for the Crusaders. It's Manal Gorman. We'll take another short break back after this. It's 42-0. 30 seconds. Let's take that much of a timeout here on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio.
Announce the name of the business on this sheet.
Name of the business? Yosemite?
Yosemite Roofing.
Or Yo's me.
Yosemite Roofing?
Yosemite. Yosemite?
Hey guys, it's Josiah with Yosemite Roofing, and we don't care what you call us, as long as you call us.
After the 18-yard pitch and catch from Surratt to Phillips, it's 42-0 with 2:48 remaining in the first half of play here from the Rose City. Gorman expelling all of their timeouts. Bishop Reicher still has two to use. As now this time a new kicker is going to be Jack Cohn to boot things off. Cohn line drive kick. Takes a hard bounce at about the 25, and going the other way is going to be Fernandez. Fernandez turns the corner, jukes a man, still has room, but gets crammed, gets brought down. Big-time tackle made by Sean O'Neal. O'Neal, his third tackle of the contest, and it's a big one. As the Cougars will take back over 1st and 10.
Tackle for the Crusaders with some help by number 7, Sean O'Neal.
O'Neal was the second Crusader to get there, but he was the one to lay down the hardest lick. Bishop Reicher has had one player go to the NFL. Ross Rasnett, the safety, class of 2009. The only NFL Cougar in school history. Here's 1st and 10. It's a handoff. Immediately broken down by Harrison, and he's still up, stepping through. Might have gotten a yard forward as Glenn pretty much hit where he stood. Loss of 5.
By the Crusaders, number 53, Kamari offered.
Loss of 5 is going to make it 2nd down and 15 with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the first half. Thankfully hasn't been a flag in a while. Well, there is a flag. As the official's hat, the head linesman's hat comes off, the flag goes through the air, and Coach Burns, speaking to the head linesman, Still don't know what the flag possibly could have been, as now 3 officials go over to talk to Coach Burns.
After the penalty, be first down, 15 for the Cougars.
That's going to be over the PA, they say first down and 15. The chain crew says first and 15. The whistle blows again, and now the official's going to talk to Coach Burns once more. Now they step back. Looks like Coach Burns is talking to some of his staff. It looks like they're going to just run the clock out for the rest of the half. As now looks like the bad judge is speaking to a Crusader player. Looks like he's speaking to Samuel Bochow. Check that. That's not Samuel Bochow. That is Cade Scott. As they eventually stop the clock, 47 seconds left to go. Gorman's up 42-0 in this game. It looks like now they're trying to restart the clock, and while they do that, let's take a look at some other 3A scores. Arp and Quitman scoreless in the first. Winona and Grand Saline scoreless in the first. Coach Mata and the West Rusk Raiders in a big-time offensive clash against Troop. West Rusk up 7-0 in the first. Now moving down to 2A. Of course, we had one game on Thursday. That's the Lions of Union Grove, who this Gorman team beat. Well, excuse me, this Gorman team lost to by a score of 37-14. Fell to the Wildcats of Big Sandy 22-14. Don't know what the flag was initially, but still going to be, according to the chain crew, first and 15. The handoff is going to be given to the outside to to Glenn. As Glenn's going to gain a yard. Lozano with his 4th tackle of the game, as we have 2 minutes remaining, as the clock got reset to about 2:15 or so. Now 2 minutes flat. Clock still rolling. After the last run from Glenn was abruptly ended by Lozano. 2nd and 14 for Bishop Gorman. It's going to be a delayed handoff up the middle and thrashed almost immediately. Tackle made by Sean O'Neill. Still trying to see who got that handoff. It was Glenn yet again.
Zeke Connor on the tackle for the Crusaders.
Glenn has been taking a mountain of punishment from this Gorman defense with 1:15 remaining in the first half. Clock still rolling. 20 seconds on the play clock.
3rd down and long for Bishop Reicher.
No gain, they're going to call it. It's 3rd down and 14. Now 1 minute remaining. 8 seconds on the play clock. I formation. Fullback is about 5 or 6 yards behind. Ball's on the ground. Did Reicher fall on it? Gorman says they have it. Trying to get a look. It looks like Bishop Gorman did fall on the football. It looks like they do. Caleb Hill comes up with the football at the bottom of the pile. And as Gorman takes the football back, the risks just keep getting richer. 50 seconds remaining in the first half. As Harrison will check out and get a much-deserved break. He's pretty much playing almost every snap in this one. 10 seconds on the play clock. Ball is on the 3-yard line. Surratt looking, middle wide open end zone. Touchdown Gorman. Lozano caps off a 3-tackle drive with 6 points. And an ever more growing lead for Gorman Now with 45 seconds left, it's 48-zip. As Harrison will come back onto the field, pretty much checked out for a play and is now back in the game to boot through the PAT.
Another point after attempt for the Crusaders.
He is so far 6 for 6. 5 for 5. Gorman did go for 2. Looking to go 6 for 6. It's a bobble snap. Going to take it as Cone. Cone rolls to the outside. Pull of the jersey, but gets rolled down. Just short. Tackle was made by Dalen Harvey. Either way, the score will still stand. With 45 seconds remaining in the first half, it's all Crusaders. 48-0. Back in 30 seconds. This is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio.
Jack Cohen kicking off for the Crusaders. Damian Fernandez deep for the Cougars. Jack Cohen's kick is out of bounds. Penalty marker on the play. Bishop Reicher took first down and 10. They're on 25-yard line. Bishop Reicher takes the knee.
It's been all Gorman, as it looks like Bishop Reicher just took a knee and decided to trot to the locker room and regroup for the second half of play. 3-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll have the HTO halftime refresh back after this. This is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio.
is one of the most important purchases you'll ever make. It's how you drive to work, how you take the kids to school, and how you get to some of life's biggest moments. Why not treat your car as such? Visit Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler on 3021 South Bonner Avenue. Joe Thompson and his team of professionals bring decades of under the hood experience to ensure that your car runs at its best. Any make, any model, Thompson Tire and Services is the only place to get the best service for your car in the entire East Texas area. Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler, proud sponsor of the Antler Sports Network.
My name is Nathan Lemaster. I'm from Tyler, Texas, and here I have the Pill Puncher. This device, ladies and gentlemen, will help you get into pill packages very easily, sanitarily, and effectively. All you got to do is take the point, puncture the back, right there. Take the device, put it over the pill, like so, push it down, drops it into the reservoir, and there you go, folks. Why make this harder on yourselves? Save your fingers and get your Pill Puncher today.
Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply offers a complete approach to health and healing, providing prescriptions and medical supplies from one team who understands you and your lifestyle needs. Professional friendly service, providing the best care possible. Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply. Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply introduces the U-Step Laser Walker, providing Parkinson patients new freedom. A laser line visually prompts each step, so you walk normally and stay in control, preventing rollaways. Now available at
Welcome to another edition of First and 10 with Texas Wesleyan Rams head coach, the great Joe Prudhomme. I'm maybe the not so great Jimmy the St. Christopher. Rams 51-0 winners over Southwest Assemblies of God University, SAGU for short, down in Waxahachie over the weekend. That's two straight consecutive in a row shutouts for the Rams. They beat Arkansas Baptist 2 weeks ago, 62-0, and with the 51-0, that's 113-0 point differential in the last two games for the Rams. And never before in Rams history have they had two consecutive shutouts. They had three last year, but they were staggered. So Coach Duckworth, is he smiling now for more than a couple seconds?
You know, it was funny because he told him before, yes, to answer your question a little bit, yes, finally. But no, he told the guys that we should hold them under 100 yards total offense. He goes, if we get off the ball and we take away the run and we get those two outside receivers locked up, there's no reason why they should go over 100 yards of offense. Well, held them to minus 78 rushing, and then I think the total yardage was like 49 or something along those lines. And that's big-time defense. I don't care who you're playing. They played well. Zeno Marcheshelli had a great game. Jay Reed had a great game. A lot of them, Javari Sanders. But they played great team defense more than anything else. It was, everybody did their job. And when everybody does their job, it's going to be different people that are making plays. And that's exactly what they did.
Is that the lowest you've ever held a team to total yards, 49 total?
I would think for a conference opponent is. I think that we played a couple of non-conference guys that, we did a little better, but not much better. But I think that may be a conference deal. I mean, I don't know.
Jay Reed started the scoring with a block punt. Fell it in on it in the end zone. Rams had a 10-0 lead without a first down. It was 28-0 at the end of the first quarter, 41-0 at the end of the first half. Scoop and score for Reed again in the fourth quarter. And as Coach said, 49 total yards, minus 78 rushing, 5 first down, 9 sacks, 19 TFLs, 2 fumble recoveries. Was that the best D you've seen from the Rams so far this year?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds like a defensive Christmas list, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you go down all the TFLs, the sacks, the yardage, the 5 conversions. Another stat that's really interesting is that they lined up in punt formation 7 times in the first quarter. 7 times in the first quarter. That's pretty unheard of, but, they were throwing the ball. It was stopping the clock. They ran the fake punt after we called timeout. We called a timeout because we thought we had too many on the field. Actually, we didn't. But so it worked out good because when we came out of the timeout, we told them if they line up a certain way, look for the fake, and they lined up that way, and Kiki was right there for the fake, Kearton Colton, and he sniffed it out. So we played most of the first half right down there in the field, which was great. Field position was probably the biggest factor in the game. I mean, the defense set the field, special teams were outstanding, but when you have such a short field all the time and you got a really good wind at your back, you should score points. I mean, especially with our kicker, Blodgett is outstanding. And the offense, the short field, you can go to work. So.
Speaking of Zeno Marchescelli, as Coach did a little bit earlier, he was the Oklahoma Ford Dealers Sooner Athletic Conference Player of the Week on defense. And speaking of the Christmas number countdown, how about these? 6 tackles, 4 TFLs, 3 sacks, a fumble recovery, a forced fumble, and a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah. How much has he matured and evolved?
Oh, just tremendously, man. He had such a great summer. His summer was just outstanding. He got bigger, he got stronger, he got a little faster. But that's the most time he spent on football because he's also a wrestler and a really good wrestler. So, we didn't get him in the summer the last couple of years. This year we did, and he grew up like nobody else. And he's always had some speed. He always has that edge to him, which I really, really like. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, and everything came together for him Saturday. Whenever he got a single block, and he beat it. He was just off that edge quick. He was in a really high level of play and execution, and man, that's the best I've ever seen him play.
And you mentioned last week that Zeno improved that quickness. How much did the wrestling help to improve that quickness?
I don't know if the wrestling helps the quickness. I'm sure it does to a certain, but the hand-eye coordination, the use of the hands, the leverage, it's outstanding. I mean, wrestling and football they're great together. And what they learn in wrestling, the way they understand leverage, the way they use their hands, the way they understand body positioning, it helps. It helps. It helps a lot of those football wrestling combo guys to do well. And football also contributes to the wrestling for the toughness factor and. It also enhances what they're already good at.
What about, I think about Herschel Walker years ago when he took ballet. How would that help a receiver, or Tai Chi, or any of the martial arts? How would that help a football player, especially a skilled player?
My very first job in 1988 at TK Gorman High School, we did ballet. 88, 89, 90, 91. When I went to Nolan, we did ballet, just because of it. What it does is it helps their flexibility so much. The other thing they do really well is they learn how to fall, because in ballet you have choreographed falls. But the flexibility cannot be overstated, what they can get out of that. You put them on a bar, that big bar where they have to go and do their stretches and stuff, it's amazing. It helps their coordination, it helps their balance, it helps their flexibility, and it's great for injury prevention. Their joints are looser. They know how to fall. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, they take it better. So I think the ballet thing is huge. Yoga is what we do now. We don't, use that for some stretch stays and some really trying to get their flexibility worked on. And I think the crossover sports that do that they really help each other out. It really enhances their athleticism overall.
And speaking of ballet, my wife is a community theater dancer, was up in Cleveland, is here now in the Metroplex, and an actress, and her sister was a ballerina. And I turned her into a football fan when we were in Cleveland. I was a Cowboys fan, and she got into Michael Irvin because of his ballet moves and such. So I can see. That's interesting that you did ballet when you were at Gorman.
Well, my sister was also she danced on up in New York. So she danced at the big companies up there for a few years, and she had a background in it. And, I always was curious about, the way it could help. And, man, I'll tell you what, I'm sold. I think if they do ballet, they do yoga, it just really helps recovery. It's just a really, it's a really what's the word I want to use, underappreciated talent. It really is.
ballet, ballerina talk, yoga talk, Tai Chi talk with Coach Joe and Jimmy the Saint. Hey, how strange was it that the Rams didn't have a pick? They had all those other numbers we talked about, but no interceptions of 3 Lions quarterbacks.
I was surprised. I thought we would. We going into the game, I think we had 9. So I was expecting a few, just because I felt like there'd be so much pressure, the ball would go up and we would get some chances at it, and it just never really worked out. I mean, they were either overthrows, underthrows. We dropped one. Nick Williams dropped one. It would have been a difficult catch, but it was the one opportunity we really had. But man, when there was pressure, that ball came out and it was on the ground or whatever, and they came off the ball quick. The defense did, and I was surprised. I expected at least 1 or 2, just based on the way they like to attack. But it didn't work out.
Carson Rogers, the quarterback, he was rusty a bit early, did have a touchdown, did throw a pick, and he was sacked. He did make some risky throws there in the third quarter, and then Cole Francis came in. Is Carson's shoulder okay?
We'll find out. He's getting looked at. We'll just have to wait and see. I know it's hurting him, but we'll just have to wait and see. And Cole, last time Cole went out and started, he did really well. So he's got some seasoning. He's a really good one. He was ahead of Carson coming out of spring, and then Carson passed him in the summer. So, they're pretty neck and neck on a lot of things anyway. And then we have the young freshman behind him, Colin Johnson. So we'll see. I really hope that Carson is okay. I mean, he's a tough kid. We'll just have to wait and see what the doctor says this afternoon.
Ashton Mitchell Johnson. We have to talk about running backs if we're doing 1st and 10 and talk about the Rams. So AMJ cracked 100. I think he had 109, but he lost 9 yards on a negative play. But he finished with 102 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. How much does he improve each week?
He's improved a lot. Ashton has always been, I like the way he runs because he is downhill. His shoulders are downhill. He's a power back. Once he learns to make that, have the vision to see and be just a little bit more patient, I think he's going to be even better. Vernon was out. Ernie didn't play a lot. Nick David was out. So we were, he had to carry the ball. And Sagu's got a good defense. I mean, just because there was 51 points, you had a scoop and score, you had a block punt, and we were down living in their territory. But their defense is, I think, really good. So I guess, especially against the run. And Ashton was the type of back we needed. Hammer, run through, 4 yards is okay. 5 is great. 6, let's throw a parade. So he was that kind of back that we needed, a real power back, and he came in and did a great job. And he's gotten more and more reps in practice, him and Vernon, and I feel good about that room. I really do.
And the wide receiver room, A.J. Bob is the Mr. Electric, and he's the go-to guy. But how about T.J. Curtis? He had a pretty good game.
That was T.J.'s best game. We've been waiting on T.J. to kind of have that breakout game because he has been really, really good in practice. But, boy, he made 2 outstanding catches. So I'm hoping that's a good marker and a sign of things to come. And he is really, really talented. He is also twitchy and very athletic. He can dunk, I think, like 1 step inside the free throw line or something. And so he's got that kind of athleticism. We just got to get it to where he gets super confident. Borderline cocky, if you were, I'm going to catch everything. Everything's got to come my way. And once he gets his confidence like that, I think it'll all start to come together. But that was a coming out party for him.
And we'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the elephant in the room. Big elephant over there with the initials NAIA. Yeah. So, Rams, as we said at the outset, 2 consecutive shutouts. Arkansas Baptist 2 weeks ago, 62-zip. Last Saturday, Sagu 51-0. So that's 113-0 by my math with a point differential. And lo and behold, polls came out earlier in the week for the NAIA poll. And you think the Rams would go up from 17? They were 13, got beat by St. Thomas, dropped to 17. But lo and behold,
no, dropped all the way to 20, wasn't it? Dropped to 20.
Was it to 20?
To 20, and then went up to 17.
Okay, so it was 20.
And then dropped back down to 19.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So.
But now, how do you drop 2 points after shutting out 2 teams, 113-0?
It's I don't know. It's a little bit of a mystery to me. But it is on the anniversary of last year, the same week, to where we beat Langston by 27, and they were ranked ahead of us at that time. They were ranked just behind us. We were 19, they were 20, had a 27-point win and dropped 2 spots. The 2 Arizona schools were idle that week, and they went up a spot. So I don't really know what the answer is. But like I tell our guys, our job is to just go out one game at a time. That game is all that matters to us. That's all we're going to play for, and take care of it. If we're successful, then that's what we got to do. We can't control anything else. We just can't. I was surprised the Louisiana Christian dropped out.
I know.
I thought that's maybe a bigger, to me, disservice than us. But and then Ottawa won by 80-something points out in the desert. They stay in the same spot. So I don't know. That whole thing to me is a mystery, and the way they come up with things and all that. And at least we have it at a point now where if you win conference, you're in. So if we don't win conference, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. We're in a good spot. We just got to one game at a time. And, we get to control our own fate at this point, which that's all I can ask for.
In the next one game at a time, Wayland Baptist comes to Crowley ISD. It'll be a 2 p.m. kickoff, Antler Sports Network and ramsports.net. Myself and Jared Jones will have the broadcast for you. So hopefully 3 shutouts maybe? How are they? Are they shutoutable, I guess is the question.
If we play well, if we do what we're supposed to do, we can shut them out. But we have to play well. You can't give up a chunk play. You can't have a blown assignment. You can't have a blown coverage. You just have to get in there and focus and do what you're supposed to do, and then good things can happen. We don't go out there saying we're going to get a shutout. It doesn't work like that. It's kind of like the pitcher who's in a no-hitter, and somebody mentions no-hitter to him, and next thing you know, they start just bombs going out the yard. And they're a good team. They're a physical team. They're a big team. They run counters very, very well. They were beating Sagoo for a while. I think they had a good lead on 13-0 or something, maybe up to 23, and then Sagoo exploded for a bunch of points in the second half and had a pick six, had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and got back on top of it. They got a new coach. He's been their longtime defensive coordinator, and so they're in a good spot as far as familiarity. They got some good athletes, but they are physical and they're aggressive. So we better play. If we don't play, we're going to be in trouble. I mean, nobody in our conference, I don't think, is good enough to sleepwalk into any win. You've got to be ready to play, and so we'll see how we look.
See, the practice earlier in the week was good. So how much during a week like that, when you're facing a team that's lost 5 straight like Wayland Baptist, do you have to hammer that home? Say, these guys have lost 5 straight, but they are a Sooner Athletic Conference team, and you can't, sleepwalk. So how much do you have to hammer that into that?
Well, first of all, we never mentioned 0-5.
Okay.
We don't even talk about their record.
Okay.
We talk about, that what they're averaging on offense, 23.9. We talk about that they're third in the sack in run defense. Whatever they do, that they do well. Their kicker is really good. I don't think he's as good as Blodgett. Blodgett's on a different level of everybody, but I think he's 6 of 6 for field goals and 13 of 13 on PATs or something like that. And so we just all we ever talk about on any opponent is what they do well. We never talk about. We don't even really talk about their records. Now we will on the teams that we come in and they're 6-1 or 5-1, and yeah, they're there for a reason. We tell them our guys are there for a reason. But if it's an opponent that maybe doesn't have those type of records or credentials or whatever, all we talk about is what they do well and what we have to take away in order to be successful and what we have to do to win. I don't like to cloud their minds. I don't like to bring in other things to think about. So that's really how we go about it.
And back home again at CISD, beautiful Crowley ISD Stadium. How good is it to be home and not have to jump on a bus and go somewhere?
Well, we still jump on a bus to go to Crowley.
Right.
but it's a lot shorter trip.
Yeah.
A lot shorter trip. No, it's going to be great to get it back to Crowley and get in front of the home crowd. And that venue is just so fun to play in. It's just fun to play in. The acoustics in there are crazy. You hear everything. It's so contained. It'll be great to get back there. And, you know, I really enjoyed the venue in Waxahachie. That's a beautiful stadium. Lufkin's is a great stadium. So, you know, we were in a good stadium last week, but I really like the way Crowley's set up. And it feels like home. It is home to us. So we're excited to get back and get on the road, back to the short road to Crowley.
And myself and Jared Jones will have it for you on Antler Sports Net. 2 o'clock kickoff. We'll have the pregame show, which also will have First and 10 on it, this version of First and 10. We'll start by 11:30, if not, I should say 1:30, if not 1 o'clock. But if you can't make the game. But come on down, see us at beautiful CISD, 2 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, Crowley ISD Stadium. The Rams, the 17th ranked, which should be higher in the NIA.
We're 19th. We're 19th now.
And 19th, that's right. I'm still stuck on 17.
We were 17th.
See what that does mean? They go down negative, and I still think they're 17.
We were 17 on Sunday and 19 on Monday. So.
Okay. So hopefully they'll move up. Maybe they can get a third shutout. I don't know what it'll take. You have to hang 75, 100 on somebody.
We just got to go play, man.
You just got to go
play defense, play great defense. Let the chips fall.
Good. They'll be falling. And come down and see us at CISD, Crowley ISD against Wayland Baptist. Your 5-1 Texas Wesleyan Rams, 2 p.m. on Saturday. Or today, if you're watching it today on the pregame show, First and 10. For Rams head coach Joe Prudhomme and his great staff, for Kenneth Flowers, for Ricky Dotson, for James McBride and their great staffs, Jimmy the St. Christopher saying, so long, we'll talk to you next time on First and 10.
Thanks, Jimmy. We'll talk to you soon tomorrow at about 2 p.m. Central Time as the Texas Wesleyan Rams will have their own homecoming contest, this time against the Pioneers of Wayland Baptist. Both teams are back onto the field. Gorman about to run out of their respective inflatable. Clock is sitting at about 5 minutes to go, and I'm assuming the referees will get things started a bit quicker than that. While we have a brief moment, let's look at a couple scores and take one more timeout during our HTO halftime refresh. Tyler Legacy in Royce City at the home of the Bulldogs at Bulldog Stadium, currently notched up at 20 at the half. Longview handling the Bulldogs of McKinney North 22-7 in quarter number 3. The Tyler High Lions down against the Pack, the Lufkin Panthers. That score, Lufkin 10, Tyler High 6 in quarter number 3. And at halftime, it's been all Bulldogs in Tyler Chapel Hill as the Blue and Gold are up 42-3 against Henderson. The Crusaders trot back onto the field. We'll take one more timeout. Back in 1 minute. This is Texas High School football in the Antler Sports Network, and thus concludes our HTO halftime refresh. Presented by HTO, home with 27 freshly brewed flavors of teas and drinks to please any palate. Located across the street from TJC, HTO, it's your hometown drink stop. Proud sponsor of the Antler Sports Network.
You or a loved one have multiple daily prescriptions. Knowing what to take when can be confusing.
This is the Brick Street Daily Dose Packet.
That's Brick Street Pharmacy owner Kimberly Abel.
All of your medications are going to be in a sleeve of bubbles, telling you what time of day to take them. They're all separated out already. It's in perforated packs, and it's a tear-off system.
The Brick Street Pharmacy Daily Dose Pack organizes a month's worth of prescriptions into a single, simple, easy-to-follow package.
When you go check on your mom, you're not having to go into her house and back count her vials to find out if she remembered to take her medicine. Saves you an office visit, keeps everybody compliant. You know everything's going well because they're taking all their medication.
The Daily Dose Pack is a Brick Street Pharmacy exclusive. It's not available from the chain pharmacy, and it doesn't add a penny to the cost of your prescriptions. Brick Street Pharmacy is in Tyler's Azalea District on Rusk, a block and a half west of South Broadway. They're online at Brick Street Medical.
We're ready for quarter number 3. It's Gorman and Bishop Reicher here on the Antler Sports Network as both teams are back onto the field, and we're set for 24 minutes of action. Just got word that the clock will be rolling the rest of this contest. As Bishop Gorman currently up in this game, big time score 48-0. Fresh 12 is on the clock. We are ready to go from the Rose City here in Tyler, Texas. Gorman looking to avenge their loss to Mercy Culture Prep out of Fort Worth 2 weeks back. the remaining broadcast, well, the next couple of broadcasts here on the Antler Sports Network. Of course, we'll have Rams college football, as you can see on the scoreboard there. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. Central. And after that, we'll have possibly what could be not just the biggest game in the state of Texas, but probably the biggest game in the country, as the Duncanville Panthers take on the DeSoto Eagles in what is right now a 1-3 matchup. Two state champions, two DFW powerhouses, two of the most talented high school football teams in these United States clash on the Antler Sports Network. Kickoff live from Eagle Stadium will be at 7 p.m. Central, pregame at 7:30. Harrison kicking things back off. Got plenty of leg into this one. Ball's going to be hauled in by Fernandez at about the 15-yard line. Now crossing at the 20, has some open space, gets to the 25, now jukes across the right. Getting across the right hash and still going. Turning opposite field, maybe one more man to beat, and Cone brings him down. Fernandez had lots of promise on that kickoff, taking about 30 or so seconds off the clock. Check that Samuel Vogler on the hit. My apologies. Vogler was the last line in defense and thankfully was able to bring Fernandez down. Fernandez got hit by multiple Crusaders for I don't know how long. He broke off maybe 6 or 7 tackles. Lost count. 11 minutes remaining. We've already crossed a minute here in quarter number 3. It's 1st and 10. 10 seconds on the play clock for the Crusaders to take a snap. Shotgun snap. Thrown. Has a man across the sideline. Turning the other way. It's caught by Darling. And Darling hauls in the reception. First down and 10. Darling, his first reception of the game. He already has a deflection and an interception. He had the game's only interception. And at about the 3-minute mark of quarter number 1. 1st and 10 for BLR. Again, initially founded back in 1954. Shotgun snap, throw, into the flat again. Hauled in and pushed out of bounds. On the catch is Damon Ortiz. Check that. It looks like that was Salmon on the catch. That's a gain of 12. First down and 10 yet again. Now Reicher's coming out with a little bit of extra fire here on offense to their first possession of the second half of play. Let's see if they can even capitalize on it. 9.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Next week after this game, Reicher will be traveling to take on the Tigers of Sacred Heart. And Gorman will be also hitting the road to take on the Saints of First Bishop Academy. Rolling out, still looking for a man is Harvey. Flag is thrown, sailing out of bounds, incomplete. Flag is thrown back at about the line of scrimmage.
Taylor Harvey's pass is incomplete. Intended for McKinnon Salmon.
Pass intended for Salmon again. Salmon Howdy has a completion early in this drive. Looks like it's going to be a infraction called against Bishop Reicher. Looks like that's going to be a 10-yard penalty.
10-yard penalty against Bishop Reicher brings up 1st and 20.
Now with 8:20 remaining in the third quarter, that penalty makes it first down and a country mile for Reicher. Snap is Harvey. Harvey zips it, intended for Darling. Darling hauls it in the flat. He's going to gain 7 and chop this down to a 2nd and 13.
Dalen Harvey to Jason Darling of the Cougars. Short gain on the play, bring up 4th down and long.
Now they're going to call it 4th, and I thought it was just first down after the penalty. Should be 2nd down. And yes, it is. Well, yes, it is indeed going to be second down. Kind of startled me for a second. 7.5 minutes either way remaining in the third quarter. That last gain of 7 after the catch from Darling is going to make it second down and around 13 to go. Handoff immediately blown up by the Gorman defense. First Crusader to get there was going to be Samuel Kersey. That's going to be a loss of 2. Make it 3rd and 15. Ball is going to be placed at the 35-yard line. Reicher at their own 35-yard line.
Ball came loose on the play, but it was recovered by Bishop Reicher. 3rd down and long for the Cougars.
I formation again for the Carolina Blue and Navy. It's going to be a handoff. Thought it might have been a possible horse collar there, but no flag was eventually thrown. Handoff was over to Glenn, and Glenn pretty much got absolutely nowhere. He is going to lose 6. Loss of 6 is going to be 4th and 22.
4th down and long for Bishop Reicher.
Looks like it's going to be punting time for Reicher. Now looking at 4th and 22. Phillips is back deep. About 10 yards in front of him is going to be Sean O'Neal. Ball gets shanked, spinning to the outside. Phillips picks it up at about the 45, runs on the sideline, gets a gain of 6, and thought Phillips was just going to let it go, but he started approaching the ball like an absolute madman. Picks it up, gains a good handful of yards, and now makes it 1st down and 10 yet again for Bishop Gorman. Up 48-0 here with 5.5 minutes left to go. With a win, Bishop Gorman could move to a overall record of 2-6, district record of 1-3, and still keeping the possibility of a playoff trip alive. But they'll need a loss from Mercy Culture and a loss from Sacred Heart. We'll try to get scores from that as the game continues. 5 minutes remaining. Here's Surratt. Surratt incomplete. Ball was intended for Eli Mahfoud, but Food was incomplete. Food wasn't able to eat. Incomplete pass. We take another look via our Circle M Crawfish instant replay and get another look. Surratt has pretty much been everything you would expect from a freshman quarterback. He's learning as the game goes on. I don't think he's made the same mistake twice, at least from my view. He's done a great job of handling pressure and receiving pressure and acting accordingly. Now it's 2nd and 10. Kruger sending the rush. It's over to handoff to Kennedy Davis. Davis gets to the outside, and he's got space at the 25-20. 15-10, 5, goal line, touchdown, Gorman.
Handoff goes to number 24, Kennedy Davis. He runs 39 yards, touchdown.
Kennedy Davis, as we take another look via our Circle M Crawfish instant replay, broke off a couple tackles at about the 35-yard line and was about untouched from then. Started the possession, getting hit multiple times, but after a couple of yards was about as clean as if he left the dry cleaners. Now the score with 4 minutes remaining, sitting at Gorman 54, Bishop Reicher nothing as we await the PAT. Doing the kicking on is going to be Pearson or West, the punter/kicker junior. Reicher gets a good jump. It's blocked. I don't see a flag. Looks like Reicher just might have gotten the perfect jump. As we try to take another look here and slow it down.
Blocked by the Cougars.
To get a better view of it here. Yep, Reicher just got a picture perfect block. So the score will stand. And we'll take a short timeout. With 3:24 remaining in the third quarter, it's all Gorman. BG 54, BR nothing. Back in 30 seconds, this is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network. George Cumby's in the house, former two-time All-Pro linebacker and Bishop Gorman alum. He was a player, a coach, arguably the greatest athlete in Bishop Gorman history, here for homecoming. That's the beauty of homecoming. You always never know who you're going to see. Former homecoming kings and queens here at McCollum Stadium to watch their Crusaders, as it's been a dominant performance for them. Harrison boots this thing away, gets plenty of leg in this one. Reicher's going to take it about the 10-yard line. Now turning to the outside, stutter stepping, still breaking a man, making a man miss. Gets knocked at about the 30-yard line, eventually pushed out of bounds. Multiple Crusaders on the tackle. First one to get there was Lozano yet again. That's Lozano's 5th tackle of the contest. Now Bishop Reicher will step back onto the field. Their last offensive drive in the first couple of plays, Harvey and company started off with 3 out of 4 completions to open things up. Then the penalty bug hit him. A 10-yard penalty, then turned into a 15-yard loss. Then a 3rd and 22 ended up in turning the football back over to the Crusaders. And that was all Kennedy needed to get the big-time touchdown run and give us our current score. A 36-yard rush. Now putting the Crusaders up 54-0 with a minute 20 and change remaining. Here's Harvey. Harvey dropping back. Strike across the middle, incomplete. Pass was intended for Darling, and the referee gets hit. He takes a whacking. As referee gets helped out by a couple of players, and he seems to be okay. It seems that Kennedy was looking to try to get a play on the ball. The official just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Interesting fact, that's the 3rd time that a referee has taken a hit during an Antler Sports Network broadcast. First one took a hit back last year in Lufkin as the Lumberton Raiders took on the Tatum Eagles in a very close contest. Then we saw one get hit at Scarborough Stadium in the Cayuga Crossroads game. And now we have one here at Gorman. That's 3 rests. I don't know if that's bad luck or not for officials. Take that as you may. Here's 2nd down now. Harvey gets whopped as he throws incomplete. Looks like he might have barely got to the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be 3rd down and 10 after the incompletion.
Harvey flushed out of the pocket, passes incomplete.
It looks like there is a flag that's going to be thrown for intentional grounding, most likely. At least that's what I would say it would be.
Late flag thrown on the play.
As it is, looks like it is going to be intentional grounding called.
That also ends the 3rd period of play with the score.
And that'll end quarter number 3 as the clock hits triple zeros. After the intentional grounding play, it's been all Gorman still. Fresh 12 is on the clock. Last quarter is coming up after this. This is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio, brought to you by East Texas Benefits. Local knowledge you can trust.
You or a loved one have multiple daily prescriptions. Knowing what to take when can be confusing.
This is the Brick Street Daily Dose Packet.
That's Brick Street Pharmacy owner Kimberly Abel.
All of your medications are going to be in a sleeve of bubbles, telling you what time of day to take them. They're all separated out already. It's in perforated packs, and it's a tear-off system.
The Brick Street Pharmacy Daily Dose Pack organizes a month's worth of prescriptions into a single, simple, easy-to-follow package.
When you go check on your mom, you're not having to go into her house and back count her vials to find out if she remembered to take her medicine. Saves you an office visit, keeps everybody compliant. You know everything's going well because they're taking all their medication.
The Daily Dose Pack is a Brick Street Pharmacy exclusive. It's not available from the chain pharmacy, and it doesn't add a penny to the cost of your prescriptions. Brick Street Pharmacy is in Tyler's Azalea District on Rusk, a block and a half west of South Broadway. They're online at brickstreetmedical.com. Brick Street Medical.
12 minutes remain in this homecoming game for the Crusaders of Bishop Gorman. They hold the lead over their Bishop counterparts in Bishop Reicher out of Waco, Texas. Score 54-0. As now Bishop Reicher will step back onto the field facing a 3rd and long. Of course, before the end of the quarter, an intentional grounding penalty was called against Bishop Reicher. Now the 4th quarter begins. Harvey dropping back, has a man downfield, is caught. It's going to be a foot race. 40, 30, 20, 10, one man to beat, won't get him. Touchdown, Cougars! That's a good way to get some momentum going in the fourth quarter. As Bishop Reicher hits the board on a big-time touchdown pass. 80 yards. How about that? And it looks like we have an injured Cougar down, and as he gets treated to, looks like it could be a cramp. We'll pause for this. Back in 30 seconds on the Antler Sports Network.
Give it everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
80-yard touchdown scored by Bishop Reicher as they get on the board, and now looking to bring their point total up to 7. Looking to boot things off is going to be Triton Moore. Triton, that's another fantastic name. We had a lot of great names. We had Sabertooth last week in Sabine. Now we got Triton Moore tonight. Moore's kick, high, sailing through the night sky, through the uprights, and good. So, the Cougars convert. It's 54-7 with 9:45 and counting after this. This is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio.
Announce the name of the business on this sheet.
Name of the business? Yosemite?
Yosemite Roofing.
Or Yosemite?
Yosemite Roofing?
Yosemite?
Hey guys, it's Josiah with Yosemite Roofing, and we don't care what you call us, as long as you call us.
After the Cougars touchdown, showing some signs of life. Big time 80-yard run. That's a way to get some easy momentum going. Now with 9 minutes remaining, of course the clock is still rolling now. Cougars step back on the field to get ready to kick things back off. 54-7 in the score. Both teams sitting at 6th and 7th in the TAPS Division 4 District 1 standings. Gorman, if the score stands, which I'm assuming it will, they'll move to 2 and 6 and 1 and 3, their overall and district records respectively.
David Phillips back deep for the Crusaders.
Here's the kick. High kick, not a lot of distance, almost a pooch kick. It's going to be hauled in, going the other way with it. Going to be the Crusaders. It's Vogler. Vogler going up the field. He has some open space. Still pushing forward at the 35, at the 30, still going. What a run! How many players did he drag with him? As we take another look here, man, what a run from Vogler. Vogler breaking 1, 2, 3, pushing through 4, 5. Man, Fernandez with a fantastic saving tackle to end the onslaught. Vogler just, you know what? I don't want to get tackled today. With 7.5 minutes remaining in the game, and it looks like we have another injury on the field. And as the injured Cougar gets treated to, we'll pause for this. Back in 30 seconds on the Antler Sports Network. As it looks like the injured Cougar is getting lifted up, helped off under his own power. That's Isaiah Glenn. Glenn, as I mentioned during the game preview, leading this Bishop Reicher team in 4 major stats. Now as the clock continues to roll and we cross the 6.5 minute mark, Gorman is going to take over 1st and 10, up 54-7. The freshman quarterback getting his first start.
6-yard line with the Cougars.
Eli Surratt, handoff onto the outside and still with open space. Still marching at the 10-yard line, pushed out of bounds by a host of Cougars. Fantastic run there by Gorman's number 33, Samuel Bochow.
Samuel Boho. Great run on the near side.
Bochow, how about that for a name? We got Triton and Bochow. Sounds like a super cool law firm. I know if I needed a legal team, I'd trust a team named Bochow and Triton. At least for my liking anyway. 5.5 minutes remaining, 54-7. Gorman ahead, and now knocking on the door, looking at 1st and goal. It's going to be a handoff again to Bochow. Bochow cuts across, splits a couple defenders, stays out of the end zone. Ball comes out. Bishop Reicher says they have it. He ripped the ball out, and it's probably going to be a penalty. It is going to be a holding penalty against Bishop Gorman. So does that mean that Reicher's going to get the football? He's going to get the football? I would assume so. No, it's just still going to be 1st and goal. Reicher will not get the football with 4:40 and change remaining in the 4th.
Official timeout on the field.
As the officials will talk it over. Take a look at some of the big-time plays that we've seen during this game. How about one that just happened not too long ago? It's a big-time kickoff return, taking multiple Cougars with him. Almost couldn't keep up with how many Bishop Reicher defenders were trying to bring him down. But out of the way, a highlight play indeed. With 4:26 remaining, officials still talking things over. And what a moment that was. Multiple contenders for our East Texas Benefits play of the game. And also multiple players that are in contention for our Yosemite Roofing GOAT of the game. Now let's look at the 45-yard touchdown run by Kennedy Davis that was earlier in the 3rd quarter. He's breaking off using his fantastic speed and acceleration to break off into the end zone for 6 and expand that Gorman lead.
Bishop Gorman did turn the ball over on the previous play.
As yes, they will say that Gorman turned it over.
Bishop Reicher.
As Bishop Reicher will take the football out about the 1/4-yard line. And man, what a turn of events. Reicher coming out of this 4th quarter has scored, and now first a turnover and a goal line stop on defense. 4 minutes remaining. Harvey's got to get off quick here, and he does. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Darling. Multiple Crusaders, in coverage.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Cougars.
That was Dardell and Phillips. The defensive backs doing a great job of staying in coverage, not getting a penalty there. Looks like got a bit handsy as they cut across the middle of the field in anticipation of the football, but no flag was thrown. After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10. Low snap for Harvey. Harvey's strike is intended for Darling yet again, and this time it's complete.
Harvey, nice pitch and catch, intended for and caught by number 1, Jace Darling.
Taking another look at the completion to Darling. It's a great job by Reicher to stay with the short stuff. It's going to be 3 minutes now remaining as we take another look with our Circle M Crawfish instant replay. As now pass is going to be picked off. Gorman's going to go the other way, reaching out of the end zone. Did they cross the plane? No, they mark him down at the half-yard line.
Harvey's pass is intercepted by number 50, Samuel
And it seems like it was Samuel Kersey, the homecoming king. Being a king indeed. Big-time play for him. 2.5 minutes remaining in this game. They're going to take over right at the 1-yard line And we've already seen 2 tush pushes in this one as Chance Harrison trots off of the field. Four receivers set now with 1 back. They're going to hand it off to Bochow. Bochow takes a hit spin, takes another hit spin, rolls in the end zone with flags, touchdown.
Handoff goes to number 33, Samuel Boho. He does get into the end zone, however, a penalty marker is on the play.
I'd have to put those points back, return those points. The clock is still rolling, and yes, it is going to be against Gorman. No touchdown score will remain 54-7. As we have a minute and a half remaining in this contest.
Bishop Gorman, so it'll be first and goal from the 11.
10-yard penalty called against the Crusaders is going to make it first and goal from about the 11. We'll take a 1-minute timeout after the conclusion of this one. Come back, we'll elect our Yosemite Roofing GOAT of the game. Wrap things up and get you ready for tomorrow's college football broadcast on ASN2. Here's Surratt. Surratt running through. Did he get into the end zone? Going to call his own number. No voicemail needed. He's going to be short, though. Not enough minutes, not enough yards. He's going to be short, gain of 8. That's going to be second and goal. After the gain of 8, he's going to have the crew knocking on the door.
30 seconds to go.
30 seconds remaining to go in this contest. Now it's only a matter of time. 20 seconds on the play clock. This could possibly be the last play of the game. Now the offense breaks. 7 seconds on the play clock. 10 seconds on the game clock. It looks like they're going to run one more play. It's a handoff to Bochow. Bochow hands it off. Did he get through? No official signal yet.
Handoff goes to Samuel.
No. Didn't get through, and that will do it. Bishop Gorman takes it in convincing fashion on homecoming. Final score, BG 54, Bishop Reicher 7. We'll take a 1-minute timeout and begin our postgame after this. This is Texas High School football on the ASN.
You or a loved one have multiple daily prescriptions. Knowing what to take when can be confusing.
This is the Brick Street Daily Dose Packet.
That's Brick Street Pharmacy owner Kimberly Abel.
All of your medications are going to be in a sleeve of bubbles, telling you what time of day to take them. They're all separated out already. It's in perforated packs, and it's a tear-off system.
The Brick Street Pharmacy Daily Dose Pack organizes a month's worth of prescriptions into a single, simple, easy-to-follow package.
When you go check on your mom, you're not having to go into her house and back count her vials to find out if she remembered to take her medicine. Saves you an office visit, keeps everybody compliant. You know everything's going well because they're taking all their medication.
The Daily Dose Pack is a Brick Street Pharmacy exclusive. It's not available from the chain pharmacy, and it doesn't add a penny to the cost of your prescriptions. Brick Street Pharmacy is in Tyler's Azalea District on Rusk, a block and a half west of South Broadway. They're online at brickstreetmedical.com. Brick Street Medical.
That's ball game here in the Rose City McCallum Stadium. Gorman takes it at homecoming. Now it's time for our Yosemite Roofing GOAT of the game. And I'm going to give it to the running back Chase Harrison after this big-time play right here. Man, what a hit going into the end zone. Check that. That's the Phillips touchdown run. We'll get that last play in a moment. But Gorman taking the win here. Still looking to try to get a score from either the Mercy Culture or the Sacred Heart game or the First Baptist game, as those games will be the ones that Gorman will look at if they want to try to keep their playoff hopes alive. But again, our Yosemite Roofing GOAT of the game is Chance Harrison, the quarterback, linebacker, running back, senior, jack of all trades for the Gorman offense and defense. Had plenty of big-time plays, including this. This is the right play. This big-time run that he had early on in the game, breaking multiple defenders, bringing down multiple Cougars defenders before getting brought down right before crossing into the end zone Much deserved. Chance Harrison, our Yosemite Roofing GOAT of the game. This has been a special presentation of Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN Radio, and ASN2. For Matthew Hermans, for Nathan Kinney, for our executive producers, Nick Jordan and Justin Jackson, and the entire Antler Sports Network crew, this is Jarrett Jones saying so long from the HTO broadcast booth. Once again, our final score, Bishop Gorman 54, Bishop Reicher 7. Until tomorrow afternoon, so long, everybody.